Ciao for now.
Welcome to the closing show, guys. We have a nice day of volatility today. Upside, downside, we had it all. Let's get to these markets here. S&P down 0.7%. Followed closely by the NASDAQ 0.82 and the Dow about half a percentage point to the downside. Canadian markets also red 0.87. Brazil, that's the only one up in the day in this side of the world, up 1.5%. But crude, both Brent and WTI taking it on the chin. And as we showed you earlier, Ethereum also down there. Having a look here at the hot and cold. Looks like information technology is taking it on the chin, most specifically solar. Sedge taking the market down as well. Consumer discretionary, we've got some plays that were actually up yesterday. Wynn and Las Vegas Sands, both retracing today. Energy, like I just explained, decidedly down. You'll see red names all over there, as well as materials, batteries, Fremont Corp, Newmont Corp, etc. So it looks like it is a red day. But we had some great trades. Shawn and Neil, you've been seeing them all day. Let's get to Shawn's trade of the day.
Thank you, Sharif. Fantastic job. And once again, this trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you hit that QR code below and start your day trading journey today with the best prop firm around. Day Trade the World. Okay, look, this is a very simple one for me. Why? It's AMC. We started on the sticky note, written down right here. Watch out for the $4 short. Get out of here, sticky note. Let's talk about the trade. Look at this. This is what AMC looks like. It's been a pretty big disaster over the last little while. Now, all the apes, please don't send me any tweets. How dare you short AMC? Let's talk about the setup first. You could see yesterday we bounced straight off $4, right? Nicely back up to the upside, up to $5 almost again. Actually, that was last week. Then we kind of hover around that $5 mark. Then it just starts to trend down. And look what happened yesterday. It's a $4 bottom. I'm playing this same breakout on pretty much every single stock. And actually, AMC wasn't that huge today. It's only now started to drift down a little bit, right? So we take the short in the pre-market. As the market opens up, look what happens. It actually starts to blow up to the upside here and goes right back sort of into the pre-market high. And I actually didn't even really notice this as it was happening. But it's a huge move to the upside and then the fade all the way back down. We wanted to try to hold this for this move. You know we're short $4. We're starting to take some out now at 382. So that's about 5% on this trade. That's a great trade for a day trade, but you got to try to be able to hold these things. Once you're breaking key levels, where's the bottom? And that's what we're holding out for. So here it comes in. Now, as you can see, we just start taking little pennies. This is 3 or 4 pennies. Then it dips down. We take more. You got to take these trades when they're actionable. Right? Yesterday, we didn't have one trade on AMC. We would have not had a trade again today until it finally breaks lower. Once the break happens, then that's where the money starts to come in. Obviously, we start to see some bottoms here at 88. So out again, out again. There's the fall. Then we're starting to get some 382s now. So at this point, the risk to reward is there. We're starting to take about 15 to 20 cents on a $4 short. That works. Remember, we have to be out and flat at the end of every single day. So I'm not trying to call AMC a short for the next week, for the next 6 months, anything like that. All we're simply doing is playing a break. Once it breaks back down through $4, that initiates the short. But this is the thing about the trade of the day. It doesn't happen unless you're prepared. So let's talk about 2 things here about trade preparation. A, you saw it on the sticky note because we did our research. We knew AMC was coming up to $4 and we knew we wanted to short it. But this is the other thing. There was no shorts available. So if I don't go in and figure out that there's no shorts available, then I can't make this trade. So I had to go into our system and use our pay for short function. That gave me the ability to short this. So that's a tip for all you beginning traders. If there's a stock that you want to short, make sure there are shortable shares available. So that's just a quick little inside tip there. It's your trade of the day. It's AMC. Let's see if it breaks down anymore. Back over to you, Sharif.
Great trades there, Shawn. Awesome. There is the watch list, guys. If you haven't already done so, scan that barcode, click that link, and get that sent to your email daily. I do, and I profit a lot from it. All right, guys, let's get to our first major one of the afternoon. It is Tesla and EVs in general, guys. We've got Lucid, we've got EV, we've got Rivian, we've got Tesla. All of them are moving, guys. How have you been looking at these ones all day?
It was a tricky trade this morning, even though the short came in. I'm actually in NEO to the short side right now, but Tesla just took out, oh my goodness, it just took out 114 to the upside. So this is actually coming back in a pretty decent way here. I actually want to take a shot at this 114 on the break if I can catch something nice and tight. And it's just a matter of, at some point, this was going to reverse. We were up this morning. It looked like it was going to reverse, break to the downside. Got a wick bottom. It ran up, broke that 15. That was my line in the sand. I stopped out there only to watch it go 16, flush back to the lows. It's now holding higher lows. It's back above VWAP. You are almost never going to see a situation where stock falls as consistently as this and there isn't some kind of a temporary bottom. Let's be real. Nothing goes up forever. Nothing goes down forever as well. Tesla's trying to reverse that trend, 4.5 today. I do think it's got a decent shot, being stronger than the market since noon, that you could see a top-end break. And Lucas said this one best, and it's hard not to agree with him here. If 116 gets taken out, it's not hard to think 120, 123. Those are the obvious levels that I think can come into play. Yesterday's high, and then going back into last week's close at 123. The selling's been so harsh on the stock that the relief rally could be just as good. We've already got a little bit of a start of that here today. I'm in NIO. We talked about some of these EV names earlier. I had the NIO 1050 short yesterday. I had it short at 10, got stopped out, and then when it came back up to 10, saw that as a bit of a gift, shorted it at 986. I'm sitting in that now. I've got forward off the $11. But even that's getting threatened. These are all coming back into the upside, led by Tesla.
All right. Yeah, welcome one more time. We traded Tesla here today. We also traded Lucid. So if we're going to talk about some, I'll talk about Lucid because Neil just did a little bit of work there on Tesla. Now, even I'm saying Tesla. What's going on here?
Everybody's saying
we're all being very influenced by the one and only Sharif there. All right, so we started Lucid pretty easily today and really didn't do that great. Just like you saw AMC rip up early, the same thing happened with Lucid, except for we were on this name because I really liked the short here back at the pre-market high. I just thought Tesla was once again going to start to head to the downside. Plus, we had a negative market. So look at this short. Then we got absolutely destroyed and got out of it. Not absolutely destroyed. We took about a 15-cent hit on it, which, you know, we're going to be negative on the stock at the end of all this is what I'm going to basically be getting at. But then we started to go long once we saw that there was some strength. So short, made some money back. That's a 45 long, you know, out 58s, 59s there. Then we took another one quickly out for 4 or 5 pennies, and we've really just left it alone now. You do see that 650 top again. I still don't like Lucid. I mean, the daily chart just continues to be this, straight to the downside. But at some point, you know, we got to put our little Cathie Wood hat on here and say, like, is there going to be value at some point in some of these growth names, right? Lucid, obviously, about as high growth name as you can find. All these EV spaces are all here for the next 5 years, 10 years, so on and so forth. EVs aren't going anywhere. It's just a matter of at what valuation. I can't call a PE up. These companies don't make any money. So we got to wait for that to come through. And I really feel like, you know, maybe I'm going to miss the boat a little bit here, but, you know, Tesla's making money. I just feel like the minute that you get a Lucid report that shows some profitability, or Fisker, or any of them, just put in anything, Rivian, you know, once they start making money, I think that's when you can pull the trigger and go long and then not really have missed the boat. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, like, get up to go here. Like, if you go long now at 6, I mean, where's the bottom? 4 or 5, something like that? Wait for there to be good news. And then worst case scenario, like what if you get long 9 or 10 or 11? You know, if EV spaces are going to work, then we're going to go back up anyways. So I feel like there's a lot of patience involved in these names. As by the way, right now, AMD starting to go back to the downside. I've reloaded that a little bit here. So the trades we have on are accurate right now. Short AMC and short AMD. No longs yet, guys.
What a segue, Shawn, because now we are going to talk about chips. Do we have too many of them? The recent stock price action for some of these names would definitely suggest so. Let's have a look at NVIDIA here. It looks like, you know, it's been flat all day. I'd say it had a bit of a bad morning, bouncing off that 136, but now we're kind of reclaiming VWAP here. I think the weaker name looks to be Intel, having a bit of a move down to that 25.5, catching a nice bounce though, trying to reclaim VWAP. What are you guys looking at in terms of chips going forward?
Well, I mean, personally, I'm a huge fan of ketchup chips. I know you guys don't have them in the States. That's easily the best.
Why don't they have those?
I don't know. And someone's told me that they're supposed to be getting them. Some states have it, some don't.
Do you like all dressed?
Okay, so all dressed is okay.
Do you guys have all dressed?
They're all dressed is okay. Dill pickle's not that bad.
Ooh, I like dill pickle.
Dill pickle's definitely going to be tasty. And look, the reason I'm talking about actual chips is because they're delicious, because the real chips have been getting their butt kicked. And we've been talking about this how many days in a row. I understand that semiconductors make the world go round, but this oversupply thing's been a bit of a problem.
Crisps.
One of these days, shorting Intel's going to lose, but let me know when that day happens, because it's just not been true. It's not that difficult. If it finds a resistance level, just trade it and then know where your stop is going to be. Waited for it to remember in the afternoon, short in front of 2610 on Intel, I didn't have to write any new levels down because the high this morning was 2610. You shorted in front of that, it broke the low. I actually held some for 25.50. I'm happy about that. And then I just reloaded. The first pop we saw on Intel, I waited for it to reverse, and look where that reversal happened. There is one green candle on the 15-minute chart. It was right at 11 o'clock as we were coming on air and sending you guys to Trader Pratt and Luca. The top of that move was 25.77. I am short right in front of that at 73. So I don't think it's complicated. When you have something that's a working trend, eventually these are going to pick up. Maybe that's Q2, Q3 of next year. I think there are going to be some great longs to be had. This entire space has probably come a little bit too far. The valuations are great. But hey, we're headed into recession, if not already in one. And that means these names are going to continue to work to the downside.
Apparently, they do not have all-dressed chips.
You don't have all-dressed chips in the States?
No ketchup chips in the States, no all-dressed chips. But,
that's
you know, we come here well-dressed, shorting some of these chip stocks. And I think that you really like shorting Intel. And today, we picked on Advanced Micro Devices, otherwise known as AMD. And we're in another short right now. I mean, look at all these shorts. We only got blown out once. So again, and the reason I just went to go get the sticky note because we had AMD written on here. Today someone said Shawn's trading the AAAs. It was AMC, AMD, and Amazon, and you're 100% right. I still got 2 of those 3 on board. But look, AMD right here, nice upside move right into the pre-market levels. We know we wanted the short, right? And then it just came back up to 63 right now again. So there's more shorts. I know Luca's the scalp demon, but we have today 75 fills here on AMD, so that's probably a little bit too many. But that's a good fill for me. Every time it comes up here, we'll just keep on rinsing and repeating it. We're up. It's a positive day today. Anytime you're able to make money is a pretty good day. And AMD is my #1 stock by far today, as we only got stopped at one time right there. I think you continue to go short. Let me explain to you a little bit why. Look at what this looks like right here on the daily chart. We've come in. This is a 50-period moving average. There's just a rule of thumb for me as a trader. I like to go short names that are below the 50-period moving average on a daily chart. Now, that will change day to day sometimes depending on, you know, if it's a long day and AMD's ripping, then we'll go long. But I bias short. So I've been biased short for a while. Obviously, the market's printed out. So right now, we'll continue to trade AMD, and we'll continue to trade it to the short side and just wait to get taken out. Average in, average out, and it's been working. So, hey, if something keeps working, keep going back to the well there, Sharif.
Apple at 52-week lows. We know that. We've seen that. It's been doing that every day. But how about a positive catalyst that we could look for at times like this? Well, here's one. First major new product launch in 8 years. That comes to us by way of Apple Pay Later, essentially the part of Apple that's going to take on the likes of Affirm, the buy now, pay never, as Shawn likes to call it. So we'll see what that kind of revenue brings in for the new year. That's something to look forward to. Also, Apple coming out and saying that it's looking to expand its ad choice, especially in the App Store, and to some other of its platforms like Apple Maps and Apple TV. So possible new revenue sources going into tough times, guys. Here's the chart on Apple. We saw that nice little bounce off VWAP earlier on. If you had that short, it couldn't make it up there. I think this VWAP's a little higher than the other one on my other chart, but it looks like it was a nice little short off there. What do we see for Apple going into the afternoon?
Well, first, I kind of think that them jumping into that market, when Apple jumps into a market that isn't their primary focus, it's generally better for the other participants than it is good for Apple. It's just more about the ecosystem, and it's a way to sort of keep you in it, and it's a natural progression for them. It more likely weighs on firms like Affirm, and more weighs on Affirms and the PayPals of the world than I think it's going to be positive necessarily for Apple in particular. You're dead right about there being that opportunity at 128 when it spiked back to the upside. I think if I see that again, it's probably a good reload zone for anything that you like to the short side. Apple comes up. If Apple doesn't break that resistance from earlier in the day, then you got a decent shot that the market's not going to go any higher as well. I've chosen other stocks to go short. And if you're looking at the chart of the futures, and when I look at what the NASDAQ did, and just to give you an idea, when the NASDAQ gets up, tries to retest previous support levels and starts turning around, that's when I just want to short the stocks that I like to the short side. You get more share, got into some NEO, get into some Intel there, you just pick your poison. Apple's kind of the same way. It's not always Apple that I want to express to trade in, although I think you're dead on about that 128. I don't know that this is the stock I'm going to be trading. I want to stick to what is working and staying in my lane. And I haven't really traded a lot of Apple directly. I almost always have it there just to be sure that it's not breaking out, because if it breaks a trend to the upside, that's going to be a major sign that you can feel safe and secure about some of these names. But new 52-week low, it just took out that bottom. That's not the sign of a downtrend ending when you make a fresh low and hold below it.
All righty then. Oh yeah, just quickly here, we just got out a piece of AMC at 85. AMC went up to 88 right there. It came right back, and we were sitting right here at the 52-week period, 50 period moving average right there. We took it out. Now we're getting lighter and lighter on AMC. We only have about 10% left on that trade, or less than that on that trade at this point. But you want to talk about Apple? I mean, we didn't really have it. Nah, not today. It's one of those A's that we don't have today. But you know, Apple down 2%, and much weaker than the market. This is maybe I keep hearing and reading about like people waiting for a big Apple flush day before the bottom actually happens in this market. I mean, Apple right now is 3x, well, almost 3x the market to the downside. So that's a pretty decent flush, more than expected, right? With COVID sort of easing, I thought, in China. I thought some of the COVID restrictions were easing down a little bit. So that's a little surprising to me that Apple continues to get hit, because for me, it's not a demand issue for Apple at all. It's more the supply, right? So if they can keep these phones in supply, excuse me, Randy even said this last week, or maybe it was this week. Where am I? It was this week, eh? So about that, he just picked up the iPhone 14 Pro or whatever it was, and then he had to wait 4 or 5 weeks for it. It would have been like 2 or 3 weeks for the 14 just normal. So, or no, Pro Max, that's what it was. It was the Pro Max, the bigger one. So I think that's the one that they were trying to ship over to India. So there was some issues there with China in production. But hey, supply hopefully can at some point outweigh a little bit of demand for Apple, because they just need to get their supply. That's never something that you want. You never want more supply than demand, that's for sure. But in Apple's case, when they can't seem to keep the phones around enough and ship them, what that also does is give people an alternative, right? Like, I love the Google Pixel, and if you can't get the right size phone, the 14 Max, maybe you don't wait those 5 weeks and you just grab the Pixel Pro, which Prad now has my old phone, but that's something that does hurt Apple. So let's wait to see. I just feel like once you're in the ecosystem for Apple, you're probably there forever. So I love the recurring revenue side of Apple. I think this is a buy every single time it goes down. But again, if you keep doing that, you'll be like me and run out of money. So I can't buy any more of this name, but I do think I did buy some the other day at about, I guess it was 2 days ago, so whatever that was, 130 probably, 130, 131. I like Apple down here, and I think you'll look back in 6 or 8 months and you'll see a higher price than right now. So if you're playing for that kind of distance, then I think Apple needs to be in pretty much everybody's portfolio. I mean, you buy the index, you're kind of
you own it somewhere.
Kind of buying Apple anyways, so pick your poison with a lot of that. But I like Apple for the future, and I think that, I just love that recurring business. And for today, I'm probably going to leave it alone. I know Neil talked about that 128. I mean, it's perfect. It goes right to VWAP. It's like literally the exact, like I have all these notes that I write, and if you come over to do you have this shot, Fahad, by any chance? Yes. Look at this guy. Where's Fahad at? Oh my God, Fahad's good. Right there, yeah. So not only is Fahad practicing free throws, he's practicing, the quick little flicks over here. But I was just gonna say, like, all these are little notes, right? What's up? Where's the camera? Right there somewhere. But all these little notes up here, they're all little reminders of me. And like one of them just says, look at the 1 minute 200 period for support or resistance. If the NQ is 3 minutes, like it's blah, blah, blah. It's all these notes, right? So I just feel like this was a perfect setup. It comes right up here. I don't know what the market was doing. I guess it's the same time. But again, the market bouncing off 10,900, this bouncing off VWAP, and I assume VWAP would have been that perfect. But I mean, if we see that again, man, we got to take it. So right now that would be I know Neil said 128. I think that's close enough. 128 and a quarter, something like that. If Apple can come back up there, let's see about shorting that VWAP. But Apple was a perfect trade today. You just had to have been at your desk.
A TJTX is open, by the way. So that TJTX that's been halted for, I don't know, like a few hours, it just opened up. I thought I saw 1060, 1070 as the open. It's now above $11. This is the one. I want to get the story right here. I'm sure Sharif will correct me if I get it wrong. But they had a candidate. It was for the FDA approval, tentative approval for TG Therapeutics or ORIG1. I just tried the dip buy. The halt opened at 1050 from what I can tell. So I'm just playing off of that, and we'll see if I can. I just got the dip at 65. I'll see if I can scalp it off that level. It did just reject an 11 break, so I should probably take something out. That was a huge move to 1150. Man, I had designs on this thing halting again to the upside. It looks like that might not be the case, but I still want a tight stop. I don't need this breaking 50s on me and then heading all the way down to 950. I don't want to risk that much. Yeah, I just got greedy there. That was definitely giving you a decent pop, but the volume's really starting to come into the sell side. Just looking at the daily chart, guys, if it pulls back, guys and girls, if it pulls back a little bit further, I do see 975, 950 to 975 previous resistance. That's another reason to sort of jump out for like a 15-cent hit. Look to see if it can hold that level. It looks like it's in the middle of air, but when you pop the daily chart up, I'd expect if you can get down to that 75, previous resistance could turn into support, and it's worth a second shot to the upside.
Those small cappers are always exciting, guys, but there is still no love for love. In fact, there's adding insult to injury. Let's get to the headline here. Basically, rival airlines are now capping their fares to accommodate passengers on Southwest who have been canceled. Delta, United, Spirit, all capping their fees as they try to accommodate all those individuals who have been left stranded. Guys, they canceled another 2,500 flights today, or 62% of their scheduled departures. That's adding to the 11,000 that they had from Thursday to Tuesday. So it has been reckless. Guys, we are near low of days on this. I mean, can we print a new? I think we are near low of day right now. So there's just no end in sight for love.
I tried.
Where to love? Where to love at?
I tried to hold this to the gates of hell, and I got trailed out like 15 minutes ago on love. We shorted several times in the morning off the 33.50. It was basically the exact same trade as yesterday. You know, you allow it. I'll go to the 3-minute chart here. You can see right at the open, it tried to retest the highs. It was 34.5. It gave that rollover, played it to the lows. It ended up bouncing back, reclaiming the lows. And exactly the same thing happened at the open today. It popped up off 33.20, tried to get to 33.5, shorted that move, was loading back up when it started rejecting some of those highs. I don't know why I'm missing 30 minutes in the middle of the day there, but it is what it is. I was getting out in front of 33 every time and then trying to hold a piece for it to break 33. It did. Once it made the bottom here at 60s, I slapped a trailing stop on it, which wicked me out. I made the top wick of this move, and now you got a fresh low. But for 2 days in a row, it's not that complicated with this one. Negative catalyst with the shutdown. You had it breaking 35 even, which was a pretty big support level. The trend has been pretty solid. This is what it was on 35. It was basically showing you this 35 level from last week. It gapped beneath it, and it's been a short 2 days in a row. I'll probably think the same thing coming into tomorrow as long as it's beneath above 30. I feel like that's the next stop.
All right, nice little bang trade here for AMD. We just reloaded that short. You guys, I mean, you heard me talk about that right there at 2 o'clock, right off that 62.80. You could have just had it yourself right there, even at better prices. This continues to fall down, so that's a big trade for me right there. You might have heard me before. Derek Carr benched right now for the Raiders, so he gone right now. But I want to talk about not love, not that, but it's very, very similar, and I just tweeted it out as well. You know what just hit a brand new 52-week low? It's Mr. Disney. Oops. Uh-oh. Throwing my pen everywhere. It's Disney right now, so Bob Chapek, I told you when Bob Chapek came in and was like, oh, here we go, we have a savior of the business, well, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you got a nice little move back up to a hundy, and then it was like, see ya, all the way to the downside there. This man cannot fix the streaming issues, that's for sure, as Disney right now at 52-week lows and just taking them out. So I'm going to go short once we break this 60. If we break 84.60, that is a brand new 52-week low. It just got made. Sam Bankman-Fried entering a plea deal. Yeah, good luck with that. 84.65 right now. now. What is it going to plea down to 80 years? Okay, 84.60 right now.
Actually, probably.
Yeah, probably, actually. Yeah, that's probably about the best he can do. I don't know. Ask Sharif, man. Sharif has that lawyer in him, so he can tell us about the plea deals. But right there, just looking at Disney, I feel like it is a take. If we do break lower, I mean, let's give this one a little bit of time. Either way, the 3-minute is at 85. So, you know, if we break lower and it continues to go down, maybe we give this a little bit of space. But I don't, you know, 52-week low breaks, the market's going to need to continue this move. Now, we're short 27 cents in the money on AMD. Monster trade. AMC is a good one, too. I better get another piece out. Look at AMD where it is right now. And this is scalper life, right? I mean, I've done 78 fills now on AMD, and this is going to, like, getting more there, getting more here. That's what scalping is about. Reloading when stocks come to good prices, and then scalping it out when you're in the money. So there goes AMD back down, man. It's been a big trade. We're up significantly more today than we were yesterday. So this is going to be a good day for us, but I do like that Disney short. Let's just see if it comes in. So I know I kind of went off topic right there, but love Disney, travel stocks.
They're both travel.
Exactly. So they're both in the travel space right there. As I was looking to take a cruise, actually coming up pretty soon.
I thought you didn't like cruises.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to do. Thanks, Trader Joe, for that. But what do you guys recommend? I know our friend went on Royal Caribbean.
Yeah,
he was suggesting that.
Royal Caribbean's got that. They have a private island in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Where it's one of the places they dock. There's like a water park there and everything. It looked great, but I'm not a big boat person.
Problem is, you got to take we got to dock it in New York. There's nothing that comes up here, so got to get a flight or drive down somewhere to New York, which New York is about 7 or 8 hours. I mean, obviously depending on the traffic.
But then you can do New York for a bit, like make a trip of that as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good, baby, because we'll get there. I mean, I've been to New York. I proposed to my wife in Central Park. Okay, here we go. Disney with a move down right now. Let's see if this can work. We are now short Disney 59er. It's down to 53 already. We don't have any bids until 50, so hopefully that'll come through there. Here it comes. Let's go. Let's see if now we can get sort of these engines fired up here on Disney to the downside right now. But here it goes, 52. Am I at 51 at least? Yes, I am. We are at 51 right now, just to take out 10% like we always do. Let's see if that can happen. And we always take them out in front of 50s. So that's another big level there. Oh, Norwegian. Yeah, Norwegian's good, man. That's good with them. I just don't know. No, I don't want to buy the yacht yet. My money's tied up with Bitcoin. It's not.
It's stuck with FTX.
It's not. It's not. Yeah, it's stuck. It's stuck right now. No.
Here we go.
Yeah, I ain't buying no yacht. But
here
anyways,
we go.
let's
Upside.
go.
So that TJTX, it did. I don't even know the name of the company. I'll have to. We'll get that from Sharif because I'm pretty sure he said the actual name. But TJTX got the reopen, did not like the scalp trade, got out of it in front of 50s. It did bottom out around that 75 area, holding 950s. On the way back up, grabbed some 10s, just played quarters to 50s, and now I want to see if it can go higher. Now I'll dip by it one more time, that if it can hold this. Now that I scalped some out, I want to see if we can run to the high of the day up at 11. We'll play out if we can. Okay. Well, I'm talking about a small cap.
Yeah, good one.
Unless you have a new small cap in there, I think we're almost done. But I did forget to mention one thing, and this is, I don't know, maybe it's headed close to zero, so I guess we can count it in the small caps. I did grab Peloton right as we were coming back on the show. It broke $8. I didn't see that it broke $8, and then someone in the chat, and it might have been as Pratt and Luca were talking about it, but it broke $8. It's been holding beneath it. I'm just short in front of $8. Just want to see where it can go. It's weak relative to the market. I mean, heck, it's just weak in general, this stock. So joining this party as well. Wish I was shorting it every day this week, obviously.
Yeah, it's been a resurgence lately, guys, of these small cappers, especially the ones bouncing over 100%. It's been kind of like a little a mini golden era. Let's get that trade that Neil had on. Neil gave you that 950 level. That didn't come from nowhere. Let's have a look at the daily chart here, because that he got off this low. Have a look right here. This is where we get a top out, and that's a clear level of support that you're going to encounter as there we go. Let me just adjust that for you. So that 950 level coming in perfectly. You could have taken that bounce for a nice ride to the high side there. I think almost about $1 now, having trouble speaking. Let's have a look here at Cala as well. This one was moving earlier, halted multiple times to the upside as well as the downside, now consolidating sideways, but still importantly above that VWAP level and holding above that $11 level. That was an interesting level earlier on. We retraced twice to that level. So could we get a possible bounce here, guys, on Cala? Only up 220%.
No, I have no idea what's going to happen to KALA right there. But I do know what's happening to Disney.
Yeah, Disney's falling. I mean, the market's starting to come back down. All I will say is this: when these stocks go halt, and they actually catch a bottom, there's been this trade where you can have a consolidation break and get one last gasp to the upside. We've seen it before. I wouldn't be surprised. That said, TJTX is doing way more volume at this point, and I think when that happens, it kind of steals the thunder of whatever was moving before it.
Thunder! Yeah, right now, good small cappers. You guys know I don't really, I mean, I trade them, but they have to be really something. I don't feel like putting, a lot of risk in those names, but, there is great opportunities. So by the way, meanwhile, unfortunately, we're working on some new graphics. So, but we just got some fills there, even some sub 50 on Disney. It came back in. We got a 50. We actually took a 54 and a 51, and then I think a 46. 49, something like that, because it did resist a little bit there at 50, but you know what did fall down? AMD. We just got another fill there at 50, so we're starting to get some out. We talked about the 200 period there on AMD, just on the 1 minute, right? We got to stay true, like I said, to what we're doing, and that's scalping. So right now we don't have a whole hell of a lot left on AMD, so let's just see what happens, which I'm pretty happy with. The market right now, not barcoding, but you can see we are starting to make lower highs. If you can start up here and just go tick, 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 tick. I guess that was kind of, it's still lower high. And now we're trying to make it again. So we'll see if the next move wants to continue down. You do see, though, this is why I have the 50 period on there. Like, you've tried to break every time. It's broken and just faded right back out again. So if you're going to break this 50 period, we have to, in order to switch up our long or switch our idea to a long, we need to break that high right there. So it's like you need to get above, like we've been, and then go above the last high. So that's just a little bit of free knowledge there on what I look at. It is tough to always look at these things because there's so much going on. So, definitely stay tuned to some of those trade ideas as we go. But that's what that is. And then Disney, like I just said, now Disney's starting to go back up as the market tries to drift. So right now we're basically 1-to-1. We shorted 60s. We like the 60 short. There's no doubt about that. But we did take some out at 50. I'm actually a little, let me see if I zoom in a little bit here. I'm a little bit, there it is right there. I'm a little disappointed that it's not really flushing. Like, I was sort of hoping that once we broke that level, we could flush down. So I'm actually looking right here. We just said we want to take out previous highs, right? So if we can sort of battle back through, I'm looking at 90 right now. So like it'll be a hit if this happens because we're obviously short 60. We don't want to get out at 90. But I think it's worth it. Hitting brand new 52-week lows. It is more aggressive than the market today, double the market. So if this continues to fade out, I feel like Disney, there it is. I feel like Disney will continue to print down for us. So we'll put another bid at 50, take some more out there, and then try to hold the rest for that flush. I don't have any levels. I can just try to go 1-to-1. So if my out's going to be here around 85, 90, we need to take 20 pennies. So short 60, if we can get the majority of this out near 40, I think we're doing pretty good. So that's kind of my target here for DIS. And then everything else, man, AMD's already cruising to the downside, and you know about my AMC. We'll try to find some more trades as we're done the rundown now, but this is a brand new trade for me here at Disney.
Yeah, it just got filled on NEO here at 70s. That continues its free fall. It just rolled over. Look how long it was barcoding here at 980. As the market came down, you just got another 10 pennies on that. We're just talking about Peloton. I just got filled as that made a fresh low at 785. So that $8 break in consolidation continues to go lower. TJTX, it did get up to 1050 again, but I already took shares out going up into the 1050. At this point, I want to see a higher low. That bid is too far away. So now I want to see another higher low. It's managed to hold that 950 to 60 area. Now can it start holding 10? That'd be worth a reload. It looks like since the reopen, it's a lot of selling and then a lower high. I'm not going to reload this one unless I see it bounce off the bottom, give a consolidation, and run. If it gets up to $11, I'll definitely take some out there, as I do think this is starting to run out of steam. When you see the volume draw down, and each consecutive candle it's come down, and the stock's going down. You're not always sure about that next move coming in there. Don't want this thing to get too far away from me. Want to have tight stops because it can come right back to $8. I've seen it before. I can't believe. Oh, I reload Intel. You know, I get Neo back. I trade forward, and then I forgot about Square. Like Square was probably Square would have been my best trade today, but I did not get back into block. I keep calling it Square block, but it's right back at the low of the day. I might have missed an opportunity there as I'm getting some Peloton, but that if it gets back to 59 looks like a pretty good short. As I say, I got back into some forward. That's starting to work back down. Every time it just goes to 11, I've shorted 11, but I have not been aggressive in getting out. As it heads down toward that low of the day, I do want to make sure I'm taking profit. This is what we look like on the daily chart of Ford. If this gets beneath that 1090, there's not a heck of a lot below here. 11 was a monstrous level. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, a lot of stocks are beneath these monster levels, and we're taking all these breakdowns. There goes TJTX. Looks like we're gonna stop out on that one. This is why you've got to scalp out on these. I think if you're always the way I always look at it is take profit, hold the rest for the bigger move. Because if you get the bigger move, great. But if it doesn't hold that level and you just go in at 10, you hold everything for the home run, then you just kind of lose that 5% there, and it's no good. But if you only do that for the smaller portion of shares, it's not the end of the world. You're letting it run house money with a bigger portion of with a smaller portion of the trade, and you're playing with said house money. So as usual, it's back to square one with only shorts. That's been the way the last couple of weeks have gone. It's like you test out along here or there, but net, holding on to and working your shorts has been the more profitable thing to do.
Yo, what's up, Ryan James? Yeah, no, I probably am going to go to an all-inclusive resort. I mean, I was just thinking cruise because our buddy was on it. So I got like cruise mind right now as we go. But there it is again. Let's go bang here. Again, you know, we talked about Eminem, the rap god, and then we talked about Scalping Demon over there. We're just going to get out again at 50. Like, I mean, we're getting lighter. I'm still here for the tank, for sure on that one. AMD's starting to go to the downside as well. Disney Avatar, just saw a story here. Way of Water crosses 1 billion at global box office. Wow, already, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that, that's pretty good. I saw the movie, my kids loved it, of course, and like I said, I hadn't been in any movie premieres in a long time, but that was pretty fun. We went to that at our local AMC. Now we don't have AMCs here, but it was at Cineplex here, and it was a lot of fun, so. That was a good time. I think we're going to some new movies. I said there's a new Mario movie out from Nintendo. It should be hilarious.
That is out or is coming out? It's
coming out. I actually want to take the kids to that. They love the Switch and all that kind of stuff. So that should be a lot of fun and whatever, man. Good opportunity to go out and have some fun with the kids. Maybe my brother will take them or something. But yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go for some new trades there. It's a me, Mario. All right, so we'll keep going on.
We just
there.
got, actually, you know, it's hilarious. I just got literally a race car set. My daughter wanted a race car set, which is weird, like the big track, and we got the Rainbow Road one.
Yes.
Which is a cool racer, but they only give you 2 of the racers. So she's got like King Boo and Super Mario, but there's 5 slots. So you know, now I have to go out buy Luigi, buy Toad,
smart,
and all that other stuff. However,
NTDOY pink sheets,
regular Hot Wheels fit.
Ooh.
So I can just use the Hot Wheels that we have as well,
Easy
which is
fix.
what she's been doing. Yeah,
Easy fix.
Cool.
Yeah, NTDOY.
Sharif, you got some news here?
Yeah, interesting news. Well, nothing really market moving, guys, but Sam Bankman-Fried's parents now have hired private security as a result of their address leaking online. They're paying up to $10,000 a week to protect SBF here as he stays at his parents' home during his bail.
Yo, nice Tesla there on the screen right there.
Oh, goodness.
On there. So there's something called ad blocker. You might want to turn that bad boy off. Prad, man, just walk around the other way.
You give me a phone.
Like,
I'll be stuck.
So we can walk all the way around. Prad decides to like do a little duck hunt. Oh, maybe that was because of Super Mario there, duck hunt. That's a good game. Oh, my kid got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate finally. So he's playing that. He's unlocked everybody. And he goes, hey, Dad, you have to play as Ken or Ryu because he knows I always talk about Street Fighter, but I have no idea. Super Smash Bros. Is way too chaos. It's like, It's like you fall off maps. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I really have no idea what I'm doing in it, but he's pretty good at it. He uses Bayonetta, so I don't even know who that is. But
I have no idea. See, that's how you can tell I'm old. It's just
I mean, I don't know who it is.
I have
either.
zero clue what
There is a
Bayonetta
dog. Yeah, there's the reason why I brought this up is that in Duck Hunt or in Super Smash Bros. There's actually Duck Hunt characters.
I love Duck Hunt.
That you could be. Duck Hunt was a good one. But I mean, now that I think about it, that was our first Nintendo came with that duck. But I mean, that's pretty violent. Like it comes with a gun, and you just like point it at the screen there and start blasting away on some.
What else are you gonna
the
hunt
dog?
with?
Yeah, the dog.
What else are you gonna hunt with, man? It was a realistic
I don't know. I don't
game.
think they can. I don't think Nintendo would release. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. Like a system that comes with a gun. I don't know. What's up, Sharif?
Sorry to interrupt again, but small cap world here calling LANV halted to the upside, up 25%, coming in on heavy volume, guys. 780. I don't know what the top is though.
LANV, why not? Look, I always say watch out.
I know why not.
No, it's 198,000 in volume. Hit enter twice. This is the difference. Like that stock, the last one we were looking at. I mean, Cala has 45 million shares in volume. TJTX has done 17 million shares in volume. LANV has done 200,000 shares in volume. So guess which one of these you're going to be able to get out of if you're wrong? The two former ones. This is going to be tricky. I always say stay away from this unless it starts doing volume. As a day trader, that's not necessarily going to be the right route to go because, you know, when I'm trading TJTX, typed NY first, when you set your stop for the bottom of this channel, like you're out, like right when it breaks. No slippage, no nothing, no trouble. It's same thing with my other tight stop. You don't have any trouble getting out of it. So volume does matter, liquidity matters, and especially matters when you're trading some of these small caps. Back over to a couple of larger cap names. Oh, I just typed in Ford for some reason. I do have still CCL. I'm not going to adjust anything on this. I'm still waiting for the low of the day if it breaks. If by 3 o'clock we haven't made a fresh low and the market's still trending down, I'll probably just take 765. That was an easy one this morning, short in front of $8. I don't think we'll see that price again. But as Peloton starts to come back in here, I would like to rinse and repeat this one in front of 8. It's gone the first 15 pennies. I think if it comes back in, I'll try and grab 96, 97. So I do want to get back on the offer here. I know my out is going to be back at $8. That's going to be an easy out for me. And I have a similar thought to NEO. I don't know that we're going to get all the way back up to the top at VWAP, but if I see the mid-80s, I am looking for reloads there.
All right, so just an update here. We did average into our Disney, but I'm going to take it out. It's breaking right now, this 50 period. It didn't flush the way we thought it would. We were able to get out of a third of it there, and then we just put that third right back on. So this will be a hit once we take it out. I put it at break of 75. So I don't want to be in this name for I mean, if it didn't flush. Like I thought it would flush off that. It did. It stopped at 50. You know, normally, and this is part of like I was saying about scalping before, it's like if you're going to scalp, then you have to do these things. You have to be able to sort of adjust it. So right there, we're out at 76 and we don't have to worry about it. But that one is definitely through the toilet on that trade because it's not a good one as we try. Well, we didn't lose that much, but we also didn't make anything. So whenever that happens, it's not a great trade. But the market right now is blasting. You are starting to take out right back in. Remember we did that work again that we'd like to see it take higher. It just keeps on bouncing. So I feel like you can reload some of these weaker stocks. Let's look at where Apple is right now. Maybe that's going to be a nice little reload spot for AAPL as well. So let's just take a quick look on that one. Where are we on Apple? JP Morgan making nice moves upside as well right now. Apple, yeah, I mean, oh man, look at this barcoding action here. Let's zoom back out a little bit to get that looking a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is not, I'd rather see a stock that's running a little bit that I could fade rather than just this one. This one just moved up. Actually, I guess it's a significant move. Just moved up all the way there, but it's not really at too key of any levels right now for me. Here on Apple, maybe 127.30, something like that. Is that top? Yeah, that's 25. You want to go short Apple here? That's not a horrible play, going short Apple against that top. I think we could probably wind up doing that. So that top is what's right here right now. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's taking it out. So maybe the short is busted out. Like we have this AMD trade. It's starting to go back up to the upside right now. Come on, AMD. Back up. That's coming up to VWAP. We did get some good outs there. Let's just let this market settle down a little bit, see if there is a top. And we're going to find some other names here because you don't have to short.
You just said one.
What?
JP Morgan
yeah.
breaking 133. Like the second that you said JP, I pulled it up. JP Morgan. I looked at this 133. You got the high from last week. It's support going back into the mid-December here. I'm going to take this one to the long side. I just want to get some 10s or something. I mean, I don't mind taking some at the quarters, but overall, when I take a breakout trade, I don't want to be too far away from the quarter mark, just because I know I'm going to have to likely give it back to like a 132.70 or so. But this is already strong in this market. It's already up 1%. I don't have to worry about relative strength here. It's on the midst of a breakout. I kind of know where the line in the sand was previously, so it makes it easier to know where I'm wrong, probably 50 cents from here. And then there's upside to be had. I know the banks aren't always the sexiest trade out there, but when you get a level break in a strong stock, I'll take a shot at it. I'm not done with some of these shorts. As I said, if I get the chance on NEO or Intel, some of these levels, I think we can come back into play on them. Microsoft yesterday gave some opportunities. I didn't end up trading Softy in yesterday's trade until I want to say it was pretty late in the day. Like, it was right at noon. I was in and out pretty quickly. In 2 days in a row, I did the same thing. It was right around lunchtime. I was looking for a consolidation break or support breaks, and that was the wrong time to trade it. This has been trending down. One of these days, I'm gonna be 242 long. When that day comes, we'll let you know about it. But this is still trending down every single time. Lower high pop. I think this 230. I don't know if we'll see 238, but 237.5 looks like a good zone here. So there's lots of things that if we go to the upside, I'd rather take a shot at fading this move. If it's relatively strong, I really don't mind taking the long like JPM. But for most of these other names, I'm still looking to fade.
Yeah, Tesla's already just broken up. I mean, we're at that 114. I mean, 114 is coming up pretty good for Tesla right now, up to that 114. Well, I mean, it's 113, but it's that 114 level right there, breaking higher to 114.50. Like, that's an area to short. So you get another $1 up in Tesla, I think you can definitely hit the SS on that one. But yeah, so not a good one. 113, 114. We're going to see what happens here with Tesla. Does look like it has some nice upside move to it right here. But again, we'll let it wait. I mean, if it does want to go, it wants to go. Maybe Disney's, how high up did Disney rip? Wow, into the 90s right now. Okay, so this is a name, obviously, that's down 1.6, down more than the market right now. And it's coming up right to, I mean, these are the kind of levels that we like, right? Right into, I'm going to try to short Disney again here. And I know we've lost on it once, but we got out of the way, so we didn't have to worry about this kind of huge move upside right now. So let's just see. We'll start it. We punched. What did I get there? I got 92 and change. We'll see if we get some more 94s. Let's give this one a little bit. Am I going to get some 94s? There it is. Well, it fills everything. So there we go. Now we're short 94. We're going to wait to see if what this one wants to do. You're right at a key level. Again, you're at a 3-minute spot here on the 50 period moving average. But again, it's not. Sometimes when you're trying to look for a trade, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's at a level that you want to take it, but this one also coincides with 84 or 85. So I do like when you're trading against even dollars, and right now we're doing that because I have a pretty defined out. We'll give it a couple more pennies higher than this, but for right now, I like Disney. I like the risk to reward on this. I'm going to give it just a little north of 84, 85 dollars. We did have a, what is that wick rate? What is that? There's some wicks up here through 85. That's 80. That's 10. I don't want to give it that high. But anyways, it looks like we are going to try to take it out. Look, the market can definitely flip on you, right? It can definitely change its opinion real quick, especially as we head into the power hour here. So let's just be very, very careful with trying to dig into some of these shorts. Just because you have them doesn't necessarily mean it's the right call. You can see I'm not really averaging into AMD at these levels. I'd like to see it a little bit higher as well. So try to be patient here into this move. We're now short Disney, and we can make a lot of cash if it goes back to the downside. We'll give this couple pennies above 85 before we get out, probably like 85.06, something like that. Let's see it just break higher, and then we'll deal with it at that point. But maybe 85.10 is a little bit better. So we'll try it. We're short at 93. We could definitely hold this out for 20 pennies. I think the retracement happens at least 20 pennies. So to me, this risk to reward makes some sense here. Let's see if it can happen. Yeah, that's it. No other highlights. The last one on Disney was the Avatar one, so we'll see.
Avatar. I still want to check that bad boy out. It has to be seen in the theater, so I got to figure out. I need my babysitters back in. My mom and pops are our go-to babysitters, and they're out of town. So when they get back, that's when I'm going to get back into the theaters. I also want to see a bunch of other things. I reloaded Peloton here at 95. I had 96 last time. This time we get 95. But I think I found something. Like, I got JP Morgan long. I think I found something that I also like. But truth be told, I didn't find it. I feel like it was Trader Prad who was talking all about, like, Lyft got beneath $10 for the first time, I want to say, ever, and it's MSYFT for the first time ever today. Closed beneath that $10 mark for the first time ever. It tried to get back above here early on, struggled at 10. Look at that 10 top. Oh goodness, man. If you're watching this at 10:20, it goes right to 10, flushes, goes right to 10, pulls back to VWAP. What a great level. What happens when it breaks 10? It holds for support and continues breaking out. It just bounced off 10.05. Man, if I get a chance to the same way I'm trading short in front of 8 on Peloton, I want to go long in front of 10 on Lyft. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
It's something that, hey man, it's a good line for a reason. So if you can find something which is trending up, already up 2.5% on the day, it's shown you the significant level already. I'm just going to plop down in front of it and see if I can't catch a bit of a bid here. I mean, I'm playing Ford at $11 and that's going nowhere. At least Lyft is moving. So if I do get this dip buy, then I'll have a chance at something that has a chance to go somewhere. Lyft, it can get higher, no doubt. And one of the reasons why it can get higher, because quite frankly, the stock has been getting destroyed. Look at this channel to the downside. It's essentially 20 to 10 if you go back to August, about as clean as you can get. Every single pop's been faded, and it's been going sideways for a bit. Usually when it goes sideways for a while, it's had a bounce in it. So I'd like to see if it can get there today. I'm not saying it goes to $11 or $12 today, but 10.25, 10.30, those are all reasonable if the market can catch a bid here.
So let's go Disney. I'm a little disappointed here because Disney, the market did crack back right back to the 50 period. Disney nowhere near that right now. So, you know, I am a little cautious on this. But in only 1 week, well, I guess it's been 9 days. It's funny because I'm going to say more positive things about Disney right here as I'm short it. Right there, in just 9 days, Avatar, the second highest grossing movie of the year. So can you guess what was first? It's pretty easy once I shut up, Ty. It's pretty easy once you think about it. No,
Top Gun.
Yeah, Ty just said it behind us there, but yeah, Top Gun.
That was great, by the way.
It was a great. I
love that movie.
A couple good movies. You know what's third? It just overtook Jurassic Park Dominion or whatever that was. I actually, me and my kid went to see that. That was actually pretty. That's like the only 2 movies I saw this year, I think, in theaters. Was Jurassic Park.
People only go to see the big ones.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. He wanted to go see it, and it was pretty good. And I was, you know, he's 10. I mean, it wasn't too scary. That was actually a pretty good movie. I don't know, whatever. They're blockbusters. I mean, they're not like the greatest movies. But Top Gun, I didn't see it.
But if you put out those puff, like, we're trying to win the Academy Award type movies, people aren't going to the theater to see that. They're like, you know what? If I want to watch one of those, let that bad boy get to Netflix, and I'll plop down, and that'll be my date night movie so I can get some points.
Like Fargo?
What's wrong with Fargo?
Nothing. I'm just saying it's probably a movie that you want to watch at home, not in the theater.
I love Fargo. They did a TV show on it too. That's a great movie. I mean, you know exactly the type of movie you're talking about there. It's just, you know, it's not going to be action or it's not going to lend itself to the big screen. Those days might be coming to an end. It's all about those blockbusters, and that's what's got to lead the way for them. I think that's going to come back in. People are excited to get out a little bit, but hey, what do I know? I also haven't been back. I keep saying that, and I still haven't been back to the theater. So it's not like I'm practicing what I'm preaching.
Yo, Stefan, don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno around here. You want to talk about Bruno? Then we are going to be talking about Disney again, and we don't want to do that. We're just going to let Disney sort of lament here. We've already taken it back. All the money that we've lost on Disney is now back in my account temporarily because we only got out of 30% down here as it does make its way to VWAP down to 80. So we just took a couple outs at 82 and 81. We're short 94. Remember the hit I took? Like this is how you become, you know, really just training yourself to be a scalper. And I do think that there are some negative qualities, obviously, about that as well. But like, remember I changed up my game and I was like, you know what, we're just going to get out and then reassess if it does come up to a decent level. So we actually wind up taking, what was it? I mean, can check. I think it was a 12-cent hit or so on that because we're short there 60, averaging 71, out 76. So that was probably a little bit less than that. Plus, we already took out a third down here. So net, Disney is going to be a winning trade. But that's where you... If this holds, I mean, who knows what the market wants to do now? I'm thinking the more downside now. As again, remember I told you, like, let's go. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I keep talking about that I should switch it up and start heading over to the futures because look what I said. Remember I said it needed to take this level out? Well, it went right to that level and then just faded back down another 30 handles on the NASDAQ, and I'm sitting here like scalping out pennies on Disney. But anyways, nice little move to the downside here. I'm going to stick with equities for now, but I think in the new year, we will start to look a little bit more at futures, as you got to diversify your abilities, and as Wu-Tang says, diversify your bonds as well. So we're going to look at that, and you can hit up Wu-Tang Financial, but we are not affiliated with them, and nor do I suggest you taking any advice from any member of the Wu-Tang clan. But I
take one piece of advice.
I did get Wu-Tang socks for Christmas. Throw up the dubs.
Cash rules everything around me.
Yep. Get that money.
Although that's the funny thing about that line is that it's literally the opposite of who I am. But it's one of the greatest lines out there. That's all I got to say.
I mean, cash goes in my pocket and out the very next pocket almost before it even hits my first pocket. So.
Like money's a means to an end, man. It doesn't give you any happiness. Like what it might do is it allows you the ability to have freedom and do the things that you want and give you some security in there. But last I checked, and this is the honest truth, the happiest people I know, it ain't about the money. A lot of times it can be stress for some people. You got to find something that you love. That's the truth. We've actually talked about that quite some time. That's why I love trading.
And I love money.
Because you love what you can love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think sometimes that's a little bit more important. Just to update a couple of things, reloaded 95s on Peloton, got some at 90. I'll be on the bid at 85, actually 86. And then down here at 81, 82. If we can make that trade continue to work inside the channel, we'll do it. I went back to Intel, but it's breaking back down again, but I want to get 25, 55 here. I've already taken some in the 60s. It's continuing its trend into the downside. The market does feel like it wants to fall off. At least JP Morgan, the one thing I go into the long side of, so when the market reverses, it doesn't really go anywhere. It looked like it was going to head higher. If it rolls back over into 33, I'll give a chance to reload some at 33. And then if it can't hold that channel just beneath it, I'll get out of that one. But I did want something that was relatively strong that I could take the long in. I have not been filled yet on Lyft. I talked about that at $10. If I get that, I'll let you know. The small caps that we're looking at, I don't really see too much happening on that Kala. I don't know if it's Kala or Kala. Oh, never mind. It was just barcoding here at 1350 when I last looked at it, but now it's actually breaking out. So this is going. Has a shot at that high of the day. I'd be more inclined to look for a fade this late in its trade instead of trying to chase some longs. I just think there might be a better opportunity shorting it when the volume has died down. You guys can't see the volume. Crap. I hate when that happens because that's being blocked. We
need to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, I could do this, and then it's obvious.
I'm going to task Fahad.
Volume been dying down as it's trying to get back higher. Typically, when I see that, I'm going to be looking for a fade trade.
I think I should task Fahad to fixing that problem because I really feel like we are going to get it fixed, man. And that is just...
Thanks, brother.
Oh, you fixed the fob?
I know, I got a fob, just I don't want to get
I mean, if you
out.
just like... You're getting a new phone, though, I thought, soon.
Well,
no or
didn't
yes?
I tell you what happened?
Yes.
Come on, man. Like, there was my phone.
Bluetooth doesn't even work.
My phone died. The Bluetooth works. It's it's the app
system.
for security. I don't know what it is, but like my phone, it never seems to work properly. Everything else is fine. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We have this thing where all the doors around here, there's an app on your phone to be able to get in and out.
Yeah, I know.
And so if it doesn't work when I get here this morning, Brendan's on vacation, I'll just be standing outside in the cold for 30 minutes waiting for the next person to come in here, which I would not like to happen. So I got this bad boy I can put on my keychain.
Yeah, I have a fob lying around here somewhere, actually. I think it's back there.
And I'm never giving it back, Randy. I'm just going to keep it.
No, get 5 or 6, man. All right, good out there. We're out of more than half of Disney as it goes back down to the downside right now. Yeah, so... yeah, you got to look out for locates there. I hear some people talking about that. AMC right now, the same kind of size right here, not really moving around. Let's find some more stocks. We got into some Disney. We already have our targets for Disney, so you know, a little bit of a float back upside. We're gonna watch out. That's 85, 85.02. Like now that we've already taken some profit out of this trade, like you don't want to like just average in all the way back up, right? Like sometimes the trade works and you're able to get out, and then it's like you can just make a bigger mess of it if it starts to come back upside, right? By averaging in and then getting out and then being like, now you've sort of washed all of those away. I did put a bid at 77 and missed it. Let's just put one here, take 10 cents there. There we go, it got filled at 85 almost as soon as we put the bid right there. But hopefully it comes in, cracks through, and we're just taking pieces out now of this Disney trade. And I feel like that's the 200 period. We've really not broken that at all since 10 o'clock. And then when we broke the 200 period, it was game over all the way to the downside, and, including making brand new 52-week lows down there at 84.50. So that's the 200 period right there at about 10:30. We broke it at 86.50 and touched 84.50. So that's $2. Now you're finally starting to see it again right there. So look, I mean, we'll go short again a little bit in front of it, but then like I said, if we break too much higher than that, then we're going to get out. Remember when we were talking about it, it was like that's 85, like that was 85.10, 85.08, things like that. But now it's come back into basically 85 flat. So we'll take one more little trade here if it does come through. Otherwise, let's hold the rest of this bad boy. I told you I'm bidding 77s. That
No.
I told him to get a new phone.
No.
He doesn't want it. Like,
No.
It's still a BlackBerry, right? But
No.
you like it. It's reliable. There's nothing wrong with holding on to that.
Yeah,
A BlackBerry?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
No,
Good luck
whatever.
with
I mean, my phone's 1,000.
If I get one, it's a flip. So I got the flip in my hands, and if I get one, I was kind of sold
the
on it.
Samsung one? Google has a flip?
No,
Oh,
it's a Samsung flip.
Samsung,
you know the
yeah.
guy that came by was another floor manager came by, and we were chatting with him, and he opened the phone. I'm like, let me get my hands on that.
I've never
and
had
see
a
if I like
Samsung
it.
phone. I
And it
don't
was
know.
pretty cool. I've never had a Samsung, but it is what it is. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. I had one for like a few months way back in
My
the
first
day.
one was like the Motorola Razr. Like that
That was a great phone. I love the Razr. I love that Razr.
Yeah, exactly.
You could literally drop that. You could go swimming with it in like the salt water, and it would be absolutely fine. Like it was.
And then I
do whatever
started
you
just going with like whatever the Nexus. There were some Nexus phones. They might have been made by Samsung. I don't know. Yeah, LG, exactly. Good call. So I kept going with the Pixel, and then eventually the Pixel came out. I had the very first Pixel, bought a couple more Google Pixels, and then now I am with the stock that keeps on tanking, and that is Apple. Down to the downside right there, and very obviously.
I mean, only if you look at this.
Very happy with that move.
Just
obviously.
keep zooming out on Apple, and you're good. You're always good to go.
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep doing that. But right now, just looking around, Disney did fall back. We did get that 77, and right now, there it is again. They're not diamond hands, but we'll throw them up anyways until we get a few more graphics going. But there it is, that nice downside move. We obviously didn't get our reload. We talked about where we wanted that. Hopefully that will come in sooner rather than later on that reload for Disney. But there it is, nice downside move. AMD and AMC still doing the damage. AMD did go all the way back up. We were pretty close to getting more short for that. I just feel like now that we enter Power Hour, what's up? It's Power Hour. Let's hit that. Let's get going on that one as the Maple Leafs win another game in overtime yesterday. All right, so as we keep on going here, I just feel like you want to be very, very patient into Power Hour. This is the last hour of the day. I've got some really great shorts on that I believe are going to work as the market starts to tick lower. We talked about breaking that high. It did not do that. If we were in the futures, it would be laughing right now, but you are at the bottom right here. So we are at a tipping point right now. We could break this level that we just made about a half hour ago. Let's see if it takes it down, and then we retest day's low, which should really start to print for us.
Falling.
Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's falling for sure, I would imagine. And down goes Disney into 67. Yeah, buddy, we're here, man. Luca and I scalping right there. We're all scalping at some point, I guess, but we don't hold overnight. So whatever you want to call that style. But right down in, we're just gonna have to take another piece out of Disney here. There it is, 65. Let's go, man. Spinning that one more time. We'll cancel that money for the alert right there to get it going. But there you go, man. I've given you two trades today. Disney short, AMD since we've been on the air. Both bangers. Let's go. Let's get some more.
Tesla just broke 111.50. That's a double bottom this afternoon. I like that 112. Obviously, that was a pretty significant level for me yesterday, but I think that 50 level is going to be good. VWAP sits here at that 112 as well, so I want to short into this. Give it about that 50 cents to $1 range if we can catch it. Why is it not filling? See, I hate it. Like you put an order in there at the even, and it doesn't want to give it to you. So you just step a little bit in front of it and then try to catch it. I don't want to chase too far here. I did get lift. That's a play right in front of 10. That and JPM are the only longs I like. I did just get another fill on 4 to the downside. That's just been grinding lower. We'll see what happens. I did tell you guys I prefer shorting in Cala. It did not quite get to 15. It touched 1480, couldn't make it to that lower high, and then started rolling over, so I just barely missed it. I saw someone talk about locates. I paid for locates on this thing in the pre-market, so I've been able to short it all day. Probably a good investment because I guarantee you when this happens to a stock, the price of locates jumps. When it goes like 10x or 100% to the upside or 200%, like locates will go from 10 cents a share or 5 cents a share up to like 50 cents, sometimes $1 a share. But I just finally grabbed that Tesla short, chased it by about 20 cents or so, but I want to give this to about 112. if this goes channel down, I think we could see that 110 again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emily1 there, for your talk about the Disney trade. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm here for, right? It's why I stay away from those little TGTXs and things like that. It's like, you got to sort of look at what you're looking at, because there's so much to get distracted, and it's like you just got to sort of trade what you're trading here and keep looking at your phone. Devin Booker out 4 weeks. I just saw that as well for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I think that's all. They got hurt a couple days ago, right? Yeah. But I guess now they just announced 4 weeks. Yuck. All right, Google still making new lows, not 52-week lows, but pretty damn close. Let's have a quick look at Google. Oh, by the way, before we do anything, we just got another out there for Disney, so we'll go bearish on that stock as we're going to hit some graphics for you. We've talked about Disney. We just talked about that. Thanks, Emily and everybody on the chat for the kind words about the trading here today. All right, Apple. Yeah, I mean, we could have shorted that Apple. We should have. We always say that. It just ripped back up. I mean, obviously, when the market goes downside, there goes Apple. We talked about, I mean, darn it, man. We could have. Remember when it bumped up and I was like, I went right over to Apple and I said, got to find a name to short. And then I went over to Apple, and then we talked about JP Morgan as well as a possible short. But for me, I don't really want to mess with anything other than tech right now. It's been really good shorts, obviously, and I prefer to look at the NASDAQ. So as that's starting to go to the downside right now, we try to respect it, but it is a nice little downside move here for the NQ, starting to go right back to that day's low. And like I said, I just wish that I would have more followed my little rule there about shorting the NASDAQ, because it just came right in again. And now it looks like we may try to bounce back up to 10,800. But as long as we stay under that, there is a lot more downside in this market. So we're going to try to be careful with it, but obviously noticing that, hey, the move is to the south side right now, and it's not very pretty. So let's just look for some more shorts. You had Square. Don't know if that's still short.
Actually, I should get to Square, because I got into that one like a chump. But 111 just came in on Tesla, so it broke down. It touched 111. I got some out in front of 111. If it gets to 110, I think it's for me, it's an obvious out at 110, because look what happened when it consolidated. All the volume in the world came into this stock at about 1245 off the 110 level. So I expect to see some buying down there. If you're still in Square from this morning, if I was still in this, I'd be looking all over this for the break of the low of the day. The market is headed to the low of the day. This is down 2. It never got through the top. I missed my chance to reload. I reloaded like everything else except for this stock. And now you're just flushing down into the low. 58.50. There is going to be the bottom for me. There was this little tiny wick at 930. But believe me when I tell you, there was no liquidity down there. Like, nothing really happened except for floodgates opening up, no bid, and then once the bid came back, it was more closer to like 58.80 or so. So 58.50 looks like the low of the day to me, but I've already got Tesla, CCL, Ford, still got some Intel in there, NIO and Peloton. Lyft and JP are what I went for the long side of, and Lyft, I got 10.05 here, and it's starting to consolidate, not even getting to 10 just yet. So if there is a bounce off the lows, I'd rather play something which is breaking out and then play the breakout price. If it gets upside, I think we have a decent shot at this to get back into the top, but this is just about the risk to reward. I know exactly where I'm wrong. I don't have to hold this thing past 10 even.
All right, market trying to bounce a little bit there. We did get another piece out of Disney, of course, at 55s right now, as it still continues to make a new low. I'm gonna wait now for a 50 break. Our next bid is 45, but we're very, very light on it. We only have less than 20% left, about like. It's like in between 15 and 20. Let's call it 17.5% left there on Disney, which doesn't mean that much to anybody. But again, you can now see the 200 period is now ticking down. So yeah, let's just hold this. Like you just talked a little bit about Tesla there. What else is moving here? I'm just looking at my quote board. SQQ, that's obviously just the triple Qs. Some of the marijuana stocks as well. Spot, we could look at Spotify. One name that reminds me of Spotify, Shopify. Yeah, Rivian and Lucid, actually, yeah, we can go back to Lucid for sure. Oh, here's Shopify.
Oh, Palantir, oh, never mind.
Palantir's still sub 6,
no,
right?
It's at $6, but I didn't realize it already broke 6 today.
Yeah. That was waiting to get that up so we can short it a little bit, because that was another name that was brand new, 52-week lows today as well. But here's Shopify on a 3-minute chart. I mean, again, it's pushing lower. I'm trying to look at these names that, are tech names that haven't made any money, that are all around their 52-week lows and things like that. I don't think Shopify's near its 52-week low, because that would be down down here. But I've seen some recent ads and everything for Shopify. Just wondering if, you know, small businesses and whatnot are going to be back kicking now that we sort of have a reopen. But these guys were a huge COVID play. And I don't need to show you the daily chart for Shopify. Most of you should know where that's come from. Way higher than this. Plus it reversed or split. And so it's our charts would be a little bit of a mess right there. It didn't drop from $400 down to $30. Went 10 to 1 there on that. So I'm going to have to use better charts to show you that. But there it is, Shopify right now on the 20-minute. This is why we're looking at it. It is looking like it wants to break that bottom, which goes back to the 27th. So just yesterday at open, that bottom right there, what is that? 32.40? I mean, hello, we're right here right now. Shopify, good candidate here to short, especially off this 50 period. But I did hear we got Sharif.
Yeah, guys, in the ongoing game of cat and mouse between the United States and China, now the United States saying any travelers from China coming into the U.S. will have to come in via a negative COVID test. Looking here at BABA making a move down now off that 87.5, I guess breaking now 86.8. Negative move off that news, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting some tit for tat. I'm just trying to think if there's something that would affect a little bit more off the top of my head. But I do want to, we try to address the super chats in here every single chance we get. I understand the chat's going crazy. We answer as many questions as we can possibly get to. We're here for you guys, as always. The Bomba 55 for 555 with the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on Netflix relative strength after making the low? Look, Netflix, it might be, you can win in a trade. That's my worst trade today. I had the top on Netflix. I got it at the low of the day. It then flushed another $8 or $7, whatever you want to call it. But this is now, it just broke the 50. I'm thinking trend short this beneath 290 until it gets to this 270 level, which it hasn't, like it kind of touched close to it. And then if it breaks 270, the 250 at the 200 period moving average, that's generally what I'm thinking for the trend. So I'm favoring short on this stock. Didn't get to that 270 just yet. With the market rolling to the downside, I'm not really willing to say that this has made a significant bottom. If anything, all it did is pull right back to last week's bottom, show resistance there, and then go back down. A lot of times you get a bigger bounce the weaker the stock was and the harder that it flushed. That's what that feels like that last move was. It goes right in, can't get to 280, rejects 279, and is head back into the bottom. I think 270 could be the next support there. That's just my guess for Netflix. I'll be looking for shorts in this stock in the upcoming days.
Yeah, I really do like that Netflix level there for sure. My eyes are still pinned to the same kind of stocks that we've been looking at there. We did talk about that Shopify, but right now we are getting a low break here on Disney. So Disney right now going right back to its 52-week low. We have this name, we have it on, it's a banger. Really happy with this trade here on Netflix. On NFLX, yeah, should be. Where I know you just talked about it, but we did write down 280 this morning on 276. So still doing that dance there as we're watching out for this. AMD again retracing back to its lows as well. So you know these shorts that we have on board definitely starting to pay out there. AMC right back down to its lows again as well. Let's put a bid here, 81, I guess. There's a big bid there at 81. Let's go to AMC and just bid right now 80. I mean, if I put a bet at 82, I'll get filled. Maybe, let's just wait. Let's just wait down here at 81. Maybe it comes in. But see, this is what we do here. You can see that there's some size on the bid, right? So like when I used to train traders and things like that, we used to talk about looking for some of this size. But again, they're not huge, and times have changed a lot where a lot of the size now is on dark pools that you can't even see. And I guess, like I said about AMC and some of the dark pools, you guys know that they are well used. So that size that's on there, that's only 75,000 shares times 2. So it's not huge. It's done 16 million. So I'm not afraid of that size. But again, like the stock could come down to it, and then algos kind of sniff it. Then they bring it right back up because they know, see? Like right there, like the market's going down and AMC just bumped up 2 pennies. The reason why is because if you're an algo, and maybe I should actually just code this myself, like when you see that size, and again, I don't believe that size is gonna hold, but you can basically go long, like that's 75,000 shares. As long as you can vet it and you know that it's like the real shares, the strategy that you can use there is then you wipe out 83 for 75,000 shares. So you just go long there 83, wipe it all out, knowing that the risk that you have is 2 to 3 pennies because you can see these guys down here. So if it comes down, you can wipe this guy out again. So it would suck because you're paying fees and you lost your 2 or 3 pennies. So that's not the greatest, but that is what some traders do because they know that they have that sort of bottom there, support to get out. That's why whenever we look at Tesla or Apple and we say, oh my God, we're coming up to a key level here on Tesla. How many shares are on the bid? Well, like right there, you could take 10,000 shares because you see this 10,000 at 80. As long as you make sure that you're the one hitting it and getting out when it comes down to 80, like right now, then see how fast that goes. Actually, I just saw a print. It's going to be, I don't know if I won't be able to find it, but anyways, it's just moving too fast. But that printed. So someone there sees that 80 and takes it out. So you have that kind of protection, like we call it. Wow, and I'm going to pass it back to you, Neil, right now. But Disney,
market's flushing.
The market be flushing, and so is Apple. Yep. Apple's done. AMD, Apple. Apparently there's size. So thanks, Ty, for that one. But right now, big time movement down for Disney, man. We're in the money here, 65 cents. So that's going to be a good trade for us. We're really happy with that one. I may just take a piece out of AMC because of that move.
Yeah, I'm taking some out of these bids as it comes to the downside. The 2 longs we grabbed, JPM's at support levels right now. I'll go away from Peloton. You can see sort of working to the downside. That's easy. But JPM coming back into that support level. It's about 132.80. That's where my stop is going to be. Lift is easier at $10. But I think this is a time, as you're breaking these lows, to look to hold on to something. Like I have Tesla, and that's starting to work. But there's me getting out of JPM. Actually, you saw that, right? Limit order, cross down at 132.50, execute at the bid. So that you saw real time as my stop was sitting at 79, 179 printed. It crossed down to 50s. It gets the best bid because that's how it works. But some of these trades are not at the low of the day when the market's at the low. Like Tesla's consolidating here at 11. I think next leg down can take me to 110, but that hasn't happened yet. If something is at the low of the day, like closer to the lower day, like a Peloton, like a Neo, I want to hold through. So with Peloton, I have one more bid at the low of the day, and then I want to see that low of the day break and then hold the rest of the shares. Anything that's off those lows, a little bit more aggression in terms of getting out there, guys. Alibaba on that news that Sharif just brought to us, that just did a major flush. This is worthwhile. It's stair-stepping to the downside. I look at that 87 level. If it can't hold 87, it looks like it's going to be a good short into said low of the day. Still room to run into that downside. I already have Neo, but that's not moving around as much as Alibaba at this point, so I'll just hold the Neo shares that I have and look to trade something moving a little bit more. That is probably a little more directly related to that news. Baba moving around a lot there. Baba, again, saying thank you for the answer to that. Hey, that's what we're here for. You're saying you've been short via put debit spreads and was considering reversing to credit to capture gains. I'm assuming you meant on Netflix. Yeah, I'm not sure the short's over on it. Tax loss selling ended here today. If we don't catch a bounce the next couple of days, so many things have a big of a downside to still go in this market. Lots is still expensive. So many names are very expensive.
You talked about that put credit capture gains. Okay, that's a good one right there. Mullen still holding? All right, we can have a look at Mullen. I mean, oops, I might as well just draw this right back up. So we just took, look, guys, we're just going to do that right there. We're going to take that bid on Disney, and now we're almost out of it all. We told you we had 17% left. We have 5% left of Disney as we just take that out. This is scalping, this is trading, and I just tweeted out, man, if you need another reason why you should be watching every single day, it's this. We're giving you these trade ideas. Some of them will work, some of them won't, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be green today. It's going to be a very positive day, and we're really happy with everything that's come through. But as day traders, you got to take the good with the bad. I have over 200 fills today, so, but, good positive stock, obviously, for me today on AMC. Oh, we got that fill. Okay, we got a fill at 84 right there. AMC just bumped up a penny, so I didn't really notice my net change, but we did. Remember I told you we were going to get an 84 bid, so we did get that. We sat on an inverted gateway, and what that means is you're more likely to get printed on a gateway where you have to pay for the fill. So we have passive and aggressive orders, and the same thing with order types as well. So I sat there and paid for that fill at 84, so that was a good one. Obviously, it costs you like probably, I'll have to see which gateway I use, but it costs you about 2 basis points or so. So you lose, yeah, about that. So, all right.
At most.
Yeah, at most. Yeah, you can get 1.6. Depends on the gateway. Like I said, I'll have to double check it. But all right, AMD. That was the next one I wanted to look at because AMD is kind of just bouncing around. It did have a huge move down, but what the hell is going on now? The NASDAQ the NASDAQ just bumped up quite nicely right there, right back up to the 200 period. So this is where, again, we sort of put on our scalper hat and we look around at AMD and we say, yeah, you know what? Let's try one little short here on AMD into this. So we'll short a 51 there, runs us over. Where's our target? Honestly, we're not in very many shares. We already talked about getting out. We didn't take advantage of that. We should have. But right now, we're into the 200 period again for AMD. Let's take the short. We just shorted 52s or whatever we got there, right back into 47. So right there, instantly 5 cents. We're not taking it. Let's see if we can get back down here. First level of concern, 40. Next level, lower. So there it is. Yes, sir. Right there. Quick little win. Quick time right there. Let's put a 43. If we get it, man. We'll just take a quick dime piece on that reload, and then we'll wait. Like, I still like to short up here near VWAP, but let's just take advantage of this move up and try to get a piece out here. We're waiting for 43s. If it fills me, great. If there it is right there. So that's a good trade right there. So we'll dab it up. Oops, that's the wrong one. We'll just do this instead. Throw some money around as the net. We have 0 LFT. That means we're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. And you've basically seen me take all these positions. There goes AMD to the downside. So another one right there. Thanks, Bears versus Bulls as well.
Yeah, one of the best things about scalping is you kind of know the levels you're going to like. So pretty much right back into 111.50. I actually got 60s this time on Tesla. Rinse and repeat the same channel break. It breaks support, heads down, holds 111 at least a little bit, goes right back up, goes to the previous support level, turns right around. The second I see the turn, grab the short, scalp some out in front of the low, try to hold some for lower. I hate when you throw a bid out there and it just decides that it's going to stop there, so you cross the spread on it. The one long I have is going to have bounced back in the money, but that's off VWAP and $10 on lift. I end up with an average price here of 4s. I'm going to take some out, 8, 11. Why do I have 2 offers at 13? Don't need 2 of them. As this gets back off VWAP here, I just want to play this not to the high of the day. The market's way too weak for me to think it's getting to the high of the day. But if this can bounce even back up to 10.20, 10.18, I'll be out of that one. A little better than what JPM did is it's trying to hold into that downside. You always want to take that profit, like I said, but hold on to a piece of it if you can for a bigger move. Just a couple of adjustments. I am out of CCL now. I was holding that all day long, but I told you guys, if you're going to hold for low of the day break, wick bottom at the low of the day is almost always a trail out for me. It breaks by 1 penny today's low and then reclaims higher. The second it broke 65, I'm out. It's that simple. Wick top, next consolidation, get out of it. It's not like it was moving that much anyways, so we'll just get out of Dodge. The good news about Intel here is that last bump to the upside, no reload, no nothing. It just went right to the low and is holding off the low. I got my 25.55, so we did ring the register down there. Didn't want to interrupt, but this is now challenging 25.50. I want to be holding Intel going into the imbalances. It typically has one, and if it comes in my favor, it can take out an even dollar level. It's not an even dollar level, but the 50s, the quarters, the evens are always significant when it comes to Intel. So I want to hang on to that, and I would like to ideally be in Tesla. If it's below VWAP, I'd like to be holding that with a stop going into the imbalances at 350 as well. I favor Alibaba over NEO, but if it doesn't give you an entry, you don't have to add it to your portfolio. It's not really a portfolio, but portfolio of trades. I want this back below, failing 87 and moving again. The last thing I want to do is get into an ADR, a Chinese ADR, late in the day when it stops moving. I want it to start moving and then engage in the trade. Otherwise, you can be watching a little bit of paint dry. That's not going to happen on Tesla. That's going to move. But you can watch paint dry if you get in and out of Alibaba. That's why I've stopped adding to Ford, because it's trading in a 5-cent range, and all I do is every time it gets to 5 cents, I take a little bit more out and look for more to the downside. No point reloading this trade, because if it gets up there a few too many times, it's going to blow through that 11. It's like a magnet, those even prices.
Yeah, that's why we always try to get a piece out like every time we get to those magical levels there. So, we do it again. Look at AMD. I mean, honestly, there has to be a point where I just get like a little, bench over here, kick the feet up, and just sit back and relax because, like, we just put this trade on AMD at 52 short, and there it is right there, 25 cents directly in the money, all the way to the downside. I said the next time it comes to 30, we take a piece out, so that's what we did. Came right back into 30 again. The NQ just hit November lows, yeah. So wow, yeah, not good on that one, but no surprise. I talked about once Apple flushed, that was it. So Apple's flushing, right? I mean, that was the next move. We talked about Apple when it was down 2.3%. Now you're down 3% in Apple. We should have shorted it. Definitely should have shorted that one. But whatever, man. You just pick your poison when you're talking about these stocks. I've already said it. Like, I'm going to be at the highest spot all day. You guys can clearly see that these trades that I've put on here for you in this afternoon has really just been printing. So Disney. I mean, Disney low right there. I mean, we just shorted we shorted Disney at 93. We just got out at 30s right there. Like, that's, you know, straight fire to the downside there for Disney. So that's been a really big trade. Obviously, AMD is another big one. And I don't really need to put on anything else. So you guys talking about Michael Burry talking about $20 for Tesla. Yeah, maybe he can make back, you know, that same call that he made when it ripped up about 4,000% there off COVID. But it's a nice move here for Tesla. It is trying to retest that 110.50 area. I haven't bought any Tesla anytime soon. We tried to short it early. We got stopped out all through this morning, stopped out on Tesla. We will take a slight hit there on Tesla, obviously, today, as we don't really have any winners. We had one in here that was good. No, maybe we don't. I thought we took one profit spot on Tesla. I'd have to find it, but it doesn't look like it. It did come right back up to that 114.50. And remember when we were up here, it was right at the beginning, right when I sat back down. We talked about the rundown, and I was like, yeah, this is probably a good short here for Tesla at 114, but let's give it to 114.50. Well, it's come back in as the whole market has. So like I said, you're kind of just like data mining. And what I mean by that is when the market tanks, it's easy to go back and see all these stocks down. Of course they're down. That's why we give you the calls before they happen, right? I mean, that's why we talked about that Disney. I held it against me. The same thing with all of these trades. So hopefully you guys are able to get in them. That NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA's at a key spot as well because it just took down 140 as well. So, yeah, there it is. It just took down 140. It's trying to make lows here again. That NVIDIA low over the day happened early right there at 11 o'clock, which was 139. Yeah, so again, you know, if you look at this, and this is why sometimes we zoom out, and Neil and I say this, like, it doesn't look like it's in the middle because it's at 140, but it's really just in the middle again. So it's not moving that much. You'd rather take a name with some juice to it, which is why we took a Disney at a 52-week low. But again, just kind of hovering around here. NVIDIA's not that enticing, as I see some of you guys talking about that. I'm not going to check out KALA, but I mean, I'll check it out for you guys up to 13 bucks. I won't be trading this, like I said. I'm at a good spot for myself today, but if you just zoom this out on a daily, there's not much here. That high right there was 11, so obviously we're through that. I guess we must have reached 17 during all this chaos. But you know, sometimes we had a trader on the floor. Neil, you know who it is, but talked about 3 halts and then the move down. This was 1, 2, 3, 4. It kept going today, but then, you know, not too much after that last halt right there that it started to move back down. So, you know, you want to watch out for some of those wicks, but KALA up 250 right now, and definitely holding this 12.50. So that looks like a really strong level there on KALA at 12.50. So if you are looking to get long this name, maybe wait. And then if you take a 12.50 long, you can always get out if it breaks 12. I like the risk to reward there, but hey, we can't hold overnight. So if the move doesn't happen in the next 20 minutes, it's not worth it for Neil or myself.
That is always true, and I think you have to consider that as a day trader being flat at the end of the day. That'll pertain to this because we talk about things leading up to moves. Someone just said 115 on a Nike break. I'll kick myself because I stopped looking at this for the short trade. I know I had a long on this in yesterday's trade and the day before that, picking a few bottoms and consolidation longs that were okay. But that 118 half short has been absolute gold all week. But that 115 break, the gap up, the bottom here is 114. So I'd be a little bit, there's still some support after those earnings. Breaking 114, I think you've got I mean, obviously some crazy runway to the downside, but that's the line that I'm looking at for Nike as being a significant level. I get it, 115 is significant in its own right, but I'm looking a little bit differently on it as a day trader, and that could come into play tomorrow. That's why I want to be on it. Lift, the one long we have, I finally got that fill, got up to 10s. I'm looking for this to bounce a little bit higher, get a couple more legs out. If it gets me 10, no problem, we'll get out of it. Going to go to Sharif, and then come back and see why I did not get a reload in Tesla.
Brilliant move or desperate attempt, guys. MicroStrategy now announcing that they're adding 2,500 Bitcoins further to their holding despite possible tax loss harvesting. Their stock not really appreciating that news, down 5 1/3% on the day, but not sure if it's actually in response to that headline or just an overall market sell-off, guys.
Can you find the time on that headline? Because that's, I remember we talked about MSTR earlier, and it was right at that level of 148 that I was like, let's short this thing, but the spread was $4 or something.
That stock you can't.
You can't. Yeah. Oh, you're saying you saw that 4 minutes ago, but I'm certain that story was yesterday.
We talked about that this morning. I know we did.
Up to 132,500 Bitcoin. Is that correct? Does it show how many they hold currently?
That was the
132.5. Anyways.
Looking.
That's fine.
Well,
it doesn't matter whether or not they added to it or not. Yeah. It kind of doesn't really matter.
I did try trading that stock once, and I remember I was like, I had the levels also. I'm like, okay, this is what my analysis on the chart. It was like months ago, and then I pulled up the level 2 to go throw some stop orders in, and it's like you can't trade it. You cannot trade that stock. The spread is ridiculous. The second it breaks a key level, you're going to get slipped by multiple dollars, which you can't. I mean, you can trade it. It's just you have to adjust your expectations. But I did not get the reload on Tesla. A bit disappointed by that. It goes right back up. Yeah, how did I miss that fill? I was sitting right there at like 111.70. It went to 111.70, but that's where I was sitting. Comes all the way back into the bottom. It just keeps on rinsing and repeating over and over again. You can see there. That's what you want to take advantage of. Next time it pops, I'll look to grab some more shares. But I'm going to get out of NEO here. I said I would shift my attention away from NEO and look for Alibaba. Look what NEO just did. It just popped. Well, I don't have to get out of it now, but I do have to slap a break-even stop on it. I'm short at 86. It just popped to the top. This is a time of day I'm putting those trails on anyways. If it doesn't want to get to the low of the day, then I can respect that, and I can just get my break-even stop in there, load it up, and that way we break VWAP, I'll cross up to 89s, I'll get the fill and I'll get out, and then I can work with something that might be a little bit more interesting. Alibaba, it's not beneath that below that 87 level. Baba's moving more. So if it gets back up to VWAP, I'd rather short this where I know there's going to be a bigger opportunity, or if it can get back below 87, that's something I'd like to see. But Lyft continues to work, so all the shorts have paid off, but 1 for 2 on the longs. JP Morgan didn't work. Lyft is grinding off that $10 level. I want to shout out and give a congratulations to Prad, because we love those even dollar levels. And I think he liked this short. I'm like 99% sure that he could have had an opportunity to play this both ways. 10 into 980, that's a great move on a $10 stock. And if you broke it the other way, you got the exact same move on the reversal. I'm playing it late, so the move is about half as good as it was earlier on in the day. But hey, you take what the market gives you, and you can't complain about the size of a win you get in the last 20 to 30 minutes of the day, because there isn't as much time for that move to extend. Could this go further tomorrow? If we get an up day and Lyft is bouncing off 10, that could be at $11 tomorrow. Doesn't really do much for me here. I got to take some out in the teens.
Yeah, so exactly. With that logic, I'm kind of, switched over to longs right now. I feel like there's more risk to holding shorts into this close, and I picked Apple. So right now, Apple bottom jeans at 126. That very bottom was 125.92 on a flush. So we do have this bottom of 125. So because we flipped over from AMD short, into the longs for the market, we did get out of our AMD. So there's the AMD cover right there. We don't have the very bottom, but we have now flipped long on Apple. So you can see where we are now on Apple. Our average price is 13. We should have just taken a dime out there, but we didn't. So we're going to take hopefully 8 cents. If it can break through 20s there, 21, 22s. Let's go Apple. Now we'll take some dime pieces out here as we reverse. There he goes. Yes, sir. Let's go Apple. Hit the sirens as we go long on Apple. Look, the stock's going to fall down, but as a scalper and as a day trader, we got to take advantage of this. We only have now 30 minutes to go in the day. And again, we're not holding overnight, right? So let's start to scalp out Apple. And all we're sort of doing is, do we have the stack the money thing? Yeah, we do. All we're trying to do right now is just add to our day. right? My out is a break lower. We're long at 12s. So if you break lower, that's 10 cents. We're going to lose about 15 cents or so on slippage. So let's make sure we take out that 20% or so when we get that dime, right? So we're going to do that. We'll hold out for higher, but hey, we just failed on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ just went right to the 50 period again and failed it. If we broke that, then you would see a big celebration on Apple, but that didn't happen. It turned around. We may retest the bottoms, but like I said, I feel like this is risk to reward right now. I'd rather be long off of a level like this than start to dance a little bit with some of these stocks. Like look at AMD, we got out, right? And now it's right back up to the upside. So just the fact that we were able to get out and take some profit on Apple means that that's going to be hopefully a winning idea. We'll still hold on to our Disney. Oh, update on Disney right now. We do have a target out, 50. If it breaks 50, we're going to get out of Disney. But Apple is really where my concern is. The day doesn't hinge on this, but hey, if it breaks back down below 126, we are going to have to get out. So let's wait to see what happens now. 126 will average in one more time.
Yeah, that's what's up about one more time. Hopefully we don't flush on lifts at least. I mean, I'm short everything else, but I just got another fill at 10.15 here. It just crossed its 50. I don't know how much further it's going to go without the market doing something crazy. We got 15 minutes till the imbalances come in. When those come, you can see, like sometimes the levels don't matter. You can look at support and resistance. I tend to throw it out the window. I'll get out at a key level like that, but I don't want to enter into a position at a key level thinking it's going to matter at that 10.50. So I'm going to now get one more fill out in front of the high. That is, as a matter of fact, I don't need to offer that there on lift. Let's just go a little bit higher. Just going to pop it a little bit higher than I had it before. Give it a little more room to run to the top. Then I'll let a little bit hang for a bit of a trail out at the end of the day. Now, if that works, it's probably going to mean a few other names are going to come out. We got some bids down to the low of the day on Peloton, but if it cracks 8, I'm out of Dodge on Peloton. I don't want to reload that one. I already said I'm going to get out of Neo if that's the case. I'm almost out of Ford because, quite frankly, I said this before with Neo, if it's not moving and this is not moving, you just got to get out. All my shorts have been at 99, 98, 99, some at the evens. But you're really only getting 2 or 3 cents on Ford, and sometimes that's just going to be the case. So we cover that one, we walk away from it. Tesla's still at 111. So there's a battle going on at 111. And this has been ongoing here for the last half an hour or so. If we break down, I still think we get that extra move down to 110, but this is it right here. It's either channel down, we get an extra $1, or this is going to stop out, take out VWAP, and I'm out of Dodge on Tesla. I'm not really looking to go long off this 111 area. I'm just looking to hold my short with an obvious stop of the break of this channel. When you're in the money, I'd rather let it ride and see if this one does that thing it does at the end of the day usually. Sharif?
Yeah, guys, looking for some movers here and things doing a little bit of volume, especially recently. NUWE popping up on my list, having done now 50%. Looking to bounce off that $10 level, just a little bit below it, making a top here at 10.50, moving on a tiny bit of volume, guys.
All right, I mean, that's, thanks, Sharif, and doing a fantastic job filling in there for Brendan. So please hit the like button. I mean, we've got Sharif here doing a great job. Hit the like button for, if anything, hit it for Sharif. I mean, great job today. Thank you so much, my guy, over there as we continue to go. We did take some more shares long in Apple. It's now getting even higher, so hopefully it can go. The problem with this Apple trade, as I see it, it's moving not good. I mean, it's been a horrible day today for Apple, right? It's been straight to the downside, and here I am trying to catch bottoms. So we are going to just keep on emptying it out until we break. Like, we need to break that 40, which is the 50 period. So you can see right there, we just keep getting out. Like, that take was 10. These outs are 20. That was a mistake. I actually meant to sell there at 19, and instead I went long at 18. So that was actually a little bit of a mistake, but it was just a piece. So it's screwing up my average price. But we've taken some outs here. These are all 20s, 23s, 24s, 21s there. So they've been good trades, but it's not really moving as the market one more time bounces directly off that 50 period. It keeps on trying to go, man, and it just keeps on bouncing. So for me right now, it's kind of like really waiting to get this to go, but here it comes in. Looks like we're gonna fade out right now. Watch out for Apple, looking like it does want to take that out. Now I can just stone cold chill here. Why? Because I already have my orders. So my order is already ready to get out. Breaking a little bit lower than this, and we're out of Apple. So there it is. It's retesting that 126. But as Apple falls down, so does Disney. So Disney right now, we are now What did we just get out of? Nothing. Okay. Apple right now looking like it wants to make that move, but look at Disney. We're 75 cents in the money, looking to take it out at 84, flat dollar break, right? So hopefully that will hold out for us. But right now, Disney in the money, Apple trying to hold out here at 126. But yeah, it just got hit there, and there's no love back. So a couple more pennies, and we will get out of this Apple trade. Like I said, we're long at 09. You know, we'll get out on an 89 break or so it'll be a 20-cent hit for us on Apple. But that's part of planning your trade. Like, we sort of had this idea. Now we won't be at the highest spot, especially if this fails for the day. But maybe Apple bounces from here. Need a little bit of luck for that to happen, as it just takes 126 again.
Man, ain't no love in the heart of the city. And there's just no love in this market. Like, when you think we've had bottoms and you found support, this is just how this market's been going. You got to play with it as it goes. It just got a channel break on Tesla here, so it is now gravitating toward that 110 level. It was a ton of volume down there on the buy side, so now it's pure trailing stop. Let it ride. Let's see how far we can go. Intel just hit the low of the day. Trailing stop, let it ride. I'm going to tighten up this trail. I don't need to give it that much room. But 25.50 has bounced a couple of times here. It's not a gigantic bid, but it's a round number, and it does matter. I'm going to get more shares out of Lyft. You know, I thought we could get at least a little bit closer to the high of the day. It started turning around. If it comes to VWAP, the way this market's going, they're not reloading off VWAP again. Nah, like, it gave you the bounce. Can't get to the top. It's a relatively strong stock, but I'm not going to let this one go all the way back into that $10 level and not take anything else. So I'm going to get this out of there. I'll throw a trail probably at that 10.
Go.
See if I can't hold this one into 350. We've got 10 minutes till the imbalances. So there's still time for some of these to run further. You just got to give it that opportunity.
Apple, almost. Come on, let's go. We just got back to flat. We took out 10%. Let's go, Apple. Come on, man. You can do it. Let's go. Let's go. We held this one. Here we go. Let's go. I said the risk was to the basement, right? We wanted to watch out for that. I felt like if you were short, you did have a little bit of risk because some of these names are at the bottom. But there's the reload on Apple, and there's a banger for you once again. So hopefully this can continue to go up to the upside. We don't want to jinx it, but we're not making money. Like, it just needs to get going here. Well, we're making money. Sorry, I take that away. But we are making a little bit, but not a lot. We need this to get back up here. I'm going to hold the rest of this now because we just got out of 30%. Here we go. Let's go upside Apple right now. We do have one more out near 20. Then we'll get out of another 10%, and we'll try to hold 70% of this for that big move in case we blow up to the upside. I did read, someone put it in the chat there, we have a market on close and balance of 400 million to buy. So if it comes to buy, Apple should rip as well. There it is. Nice little out there on 17. So we're stacking some cash right now. Best thing about trading, risk management, and I feel like that's one of the strong points here today. Let's go over to Sharif. What's up, buddy?
The scalping demon doing his thing on Apple. Guys, Avatar, the way of the water, crosses $1 billion in ticket sales in just 14 days. Not much love, though, to be honest with you, for AMC on that news item. Perhaps a double bottom forming here. I gotta get the theaters. I gotta see that soon before it's not available in 3D anymore, guys.
Oh, dude, that's going to be in the theater forever.
We talked about that. Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember the last run of Avatar. I don't remember anything that was in the theater longer.
Nope. That's...
Quite frankly, like, it's... I could be wrong about this, but I want to say, like, when it first came out, that was one of the longest runs in the theater when it eventually came out. There was a... I was going to ask you guys a question. Well, I'll ask you this, because Michael Burry, you were talking about Michael Burry. He's putting on a new Tesla short. Is that what it is? He's just saying.
I think he's been short for a while.
No, but remember he got stopped out at the top.
I know. That's the joke.
Michael Burry got stopped out at the top. I don't know if he entered into something new. I just want a clarification.
People were talking about it.
Did he jump in short now?
Let us know.
Or
he put some tweets out, then deleted his Twitter account. That was a while.
But that's what he does.
I know.
That guy's deleted his Twitter account like 27. Well, I mean, a bunch of times. I don't want to say 27, and then that's not actually the number. But it's been a lot of times that the guy's deleted his Twitter account. He just goes back and forth here and there. So I was just curious if he put something new on, or whether we're talking about these old trades. I should have reloaded Peloton at 8. Man, it went right to 7.99, doesn't break 8, and then starts falling right back down. I saw Beat Fanatic say, just stick to the price levels, respect them, trade around them. That's where the confidence comes from. That's where you get some of these better trades. I got away from it because it's late in the day. That was probably a bit of a mistake. Right to 99 exactly. I just got trailed out of... No, never mind. That's me finally getting out of Ford. Bye-bye Ford. You can't break 1095, 11 to 1095. No fill better than 1095 the entire time I'm trading this damn thing. And then I just got out of NEO as well. We are headed back in on Tesla. That one's been working, but it's right back in. It does not break that channel to the downside and hold it. It's right back into the upside. I'm not going to move anything. If we get through VWAP, not averaging into this one. It's a little bit late for that. This trend needs to break to the downside. It's 1.9% up into a market that's down 1.3. That's not the place where I want to go a third time. It's a charm in front of VWAP because, quite frankly, Tesla, in a lot of ways, has been relatively strong in today's trade.
Yeah, people have been talking a little bit about Michael Burry. Some people think he covered, some people don't, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, we'll wait for another.
I definitely read that he covered before.
Yeah, so we'll wait for another mysterious tweet to come out, and we'll figure out what exactly his position is. This is why we get out, man. We told you we're only holding 60% for that dream. Well, sometimes dreams go up in smoke. So we're going to wait to see what happens with Apple right now. We've taken money on it. We shouldn't be negative on it. We'll see a little bit more to the downside here for Apple, and we will get out. But remember what the risk to reward was on this. We were really giving this up to 126.30 or 40, so we're trying to make that 20 or 30 cents on the last bit. So if it does fall back down, you know, that is the life, and we will get out of that one. Yeah, we talked about that, Sharif, already with the AMC possibility there with that, so thanks for that story on Avatar. We were able to get out of some of our AMC, and we're very, very light on it, as now it goes back to 88, but there's another out. As we talked about it as our trade of the day, we're very light in that name. Disney, I'm still waiting for 84 flat. Like, that's the trade that I'm waiting for here on Disney. I actually don't even have a bid there. I'll put a bid right now. Let's go to 84.05. So if that comes through, great. I'm really hoping, and I'm almost out of this, because in 5 minutes, the imbalances are coming out. So if they do come out as a buy, Apple could absolutely rip, but it could come the other way, which is most likely with the NASDAQ now at day's low. This is going to break anyways before then. So remember where our out is? It's right here. There it is. So now we're out of Apple. We'll go a little bit of fail on that, but it's not really a fail, but again, you know, could have cashed it all out, but Apple right there, you could see up, up, up. Our first out is right there on a take lower. So we tried it. Definitely to fade the pops was the right trade on that, and we had to give up our AMD for it. But see where we gave up our AMD? Right here. AMD just now starting to retrace back down. So we only now have 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, until those imbalances come out. So I feel pretty confident, man. Maybe we just hold. I'm going to get out of Disney at 84 because it's $1, and I like playing off those even levels, and it's at 52-week lows, so it's not like we're going to bounce off anything. So right now, Disney on my mind here, you know, as the only trade left. So I'm going to wait for it.
I want to shout out to the Rainmaker pointing out something we were talking about this morning. SoFi, just setting something up for tomorrow. The amount of support that SoFi has randomly at $4.23. I don't know what it is about that price, but it's gotten there a couple of times on the daily. I zoomed out too far there. Got a couple of times on the daily. It's a beaten up stock, but when you start holding levels like this, if it never breaks, there's going to be a long to be had. So shout out to you if you took it. I looked at it, said that's a great support level, and then was waiting for it to break to go short. I got to do that. I'm just going to move it up myself. I was waiting for this to break so I could short that when it broke the level on the daily, but there's another side to that coin. If the level doesn't break, and it doesn't open up the floodgates to the downside, there can be longs to be had. So I'll go into tomorrow respecting said 423 level or 424 on SoFi. It's looked pretty good. I gotta respect that if it happens. I didn't take it today. I should have done it. I'm hoping you got that one, Rainmaker, because that's been about as good a bottom as it can be. 3 minutes to go. This is time to tighten stops. I'm still trying to let Lyft ride to the high of the day. I have an offer up at that high. I am going to tighten my stop up a little bit more here. Same thing with Peloton. Tesla's back to break even for me. Well, like 10 cents in the money, but that's break even on Tesla. That's break even on Tesla. But I'm not going to let it get too much further here. If it runs my stop before 350, that's fine. I have it just in case there is a big wick at 350. I don't want to get too much slippage. I want to have a nice tight stop to make sure that we get out of it. Nike never broke 115, so nothing to see there. And Alibaba never got beneath that 87, so it caught a bit of a bid. I was looking for the breakdown at 87. Clearly, you can see that never happened.
Yeah, do you remember when we were short Amazon? Yeah, that was good. All the way up here at 83.50. That was pretty good trade there. A whole bunch of shorts here on Amazon. Look what happened. It completely fell down. And then we got out once it broke back above 82 here. So, you know, we could have got some 81.70s. We were in a couple meetings there as we go, you know. But again, came back, took that out. We had a stop order in to get out in this nonsense right there. So we didn't have the complete bottom. But again, watch out now as Amazon at 52-week lows right now. Brand new 52-week low list today. Apple, Tesla, Amazon, the TQs, so the Qs as well, I guess. 52-week lows today. TWAC, I guess Neil just said. SoFi, HUD 8, Disney, Roku, Teladoc, Tilray, all the weed names. Your BlackBerry, MindMed.
I don't even want to know what
yeah, I mean, the list just goes on. I was just looking at lists of stocks that I was sort of tracking.
I haven't thought about that in a while.
Yeah, MindMed today. Wow, just absolutely destroyed. It's probably, it's worth. So MNMD is worth $2.
Oh, they
but
reverse split.
They reverse split it, so I can't. Our charts won't be great for that.
Because I saw $2 and anything. I'm like, oh crap, that made a huge move. No,
yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. So, split. But look what's happening right now. There is a little bit of a bounce back in the market. So I don't know if we're going to get that Disney bottom right now, but we do have now only a minute and a half. And what Neil and I are always talking about are these market on close imbalances, right? So right here, you're going to get an update at 350. You can see the last time these updated was at the open. So unless a name halted, like CO must have halted, I guess. But you're going to wait to see now. This is going to update. We'll watch the stock. We did have 400 million to buy. I don't know if that's changed.
That was a big pop.
That was a big one. So we're going to wait to see. There's a nice little pop happening in the market right now. But you can see this is what we're waiting for with less than a minute left. Looks like my Apple, we got out at the very bottom or close enough to it on that 90 break. We got out at 89. The bottom was 88 or 86s. So not a great out. But again, you know, whatever. It broke it and we got out. That's what I have to do. So you are going to make some bottoms, and that happens all the time. So just like we made tops there in Amazon, and even here we made some tops on the move, we're also going to make the bottoms on a move. So here we go, man. 30 seconds left. I know you're looking at that.
I just got out of Tesla. Tesla just stopped out just above break even. Peloton, I really don't.
Probably won't move on that.
I don't think it'll move, but I have my stop at 8 anyways because 8's the level I'm shorting in front of. I have 95 short. It looks like it'll just be Intel. Lift to the upside is still holding close to the top end of the range. So I do have my order in. If it gets to the high, I'll definitely get out. I've tightened my stop right in here to 112. That's how much I just want to say 112. 10, 12 into the downside. And then we'll see what happens when these imbalances roll. They can definitely move the market, and they just came. And
they must have came a lot lower because there is some moves to the low side right now on the market. But maybe we are going to get this Disney print right now as we go down. I don't see anything on here that's that influential. So the market does dip down a little bit, but nothing to sort of write home about here, I feel like, on this move down. So I would say it's kind of a nothing burger number. So we'll see. Maybe we should just get the heck out of Dodge here on Disney. It's a nice move down. What do we have it? Do you have it there? Sharif, it's at Financial Juice on Twitter. I can probably find it. Normally we get that number, but we'll see. Maybe you guys have it, what it came out as. What was
650,
it?
Sorry, go ahead. 652.
Okay, so 652 buy. Oh, buy. Okay, yeah. So it came as a buy. So all right, a little strange there because you did see Apple made a move down. Apple was about not really. I mean, it just went down 10 cents. So there's what it is. Your Intel was a buy, by the way.
Yeah, I got trailed out of Intel there. So.
Apple was a buy there as well, even though it went down a little bit. So yeah.
But this is why you throw those stops in there. Like, remember the entire time leading into this, it's like, don't get crazy with it. Don't average in a third time. Just get the stop out tight because a lot of times you can have a trend reversal at 350. It's not to say I didn't know it was going to reverse trend. If I knew that, I would have got out at the bottom, not waiting until it came back up here. But you do want to get out just in case it happens. Intel, that's a big turn. That got me out. Maybe has a chance to go to the top side. Peloton hasn't stopped out yet, but I feel like it's a matter of time. And then I just have lift. Because things came to the buy side, this had no imbalance, so it literally did not move. I'll still give it a chance to go into the high of the day. If that happens, fantastic. With 8 minutes to go, out of absolute curiosity, I just wanted to check back in on Kala because I'm a little bit surprised with volume as low as this that it never dropped back into VWAP. I'm more than a little bit surprised that this actually didn't drop a little bit further. I thought this could come back into $11. At least 12. So the fact that it's holding up, I suppose, is a tip. It's like a feather in its cap or whatever you want to call it for tomorrow's trade. But if it's beneath $11, it's probably just going to fall all day long. I'll have it up and look at this tomorrow. It did 50 million shares of volume, so I suspect it will be worthwhile looking at it in tomorrow's trade. And after halting all the way up, I think it was 4 times you said, Shawn, it never halted once in the afternoon and did tons of volume. That puts it in my good books tomorrow morning.
All right. Oh, man, yeah, Peloton, okay. And that's the other thing, too, right? That's why we watch out for some sticky notes and little things like that because, you know, what trade, just because it's 4 o'clock, obviously it means we have to get out of our positions. We talked about it. We're on a trading floor here, which is a prop firm. So it's Day Trade the World. You can find that at daytradw.com, daytradetheworld.com. Google it. You'll find out everything. Or just go to Google TraderTV Live. There should be some connections there as well. So, yeah, we have to be flat out.
Or just Google Day Trading Live, and we're number 1.
Oh yeah, we tested that. Remember, live day trading. Yeah, we should show up as number 1. We've never spent any money on advertising, so that means that you have to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's just get this going. I mean, you know, we want to thank everybody for the super chats, for all the memberships that everyone's taking as well. I'm Sticky Note Demon. That doesn't sound so good, Roberto, but I'll take it every day. That's Prad's thing. So that's Luca's thing. My bad.
Demons.
Who?
Luca uses demon as a term.
He's the scalping demon is what he uses.
'cause
I'm saying I don't want people to. That's his thing. So that's what I'm saying. Demon is his thing. So I think he said that it was given to him by Sharif or Prad or
no, Prad did.
Prad
That
did.
was
Okay,
Prad.
so there you go. So the Midday Madness show coming through. What a great show once again today. So right now it's only 7 minutes left. Thank you so much again for watching. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Thanks again to Bears vs Bulls today.
Oh, good question, Ozzy in the chat.
Okay.
Everybody at Day Trade the World, the question was, do you guys trade your own money or the company's money? At Day Trade the World, it's a prop trading floor. A prop trading floor, you are trading the firm's money. You get a percentage of what you keep. You have a daily loss limit. Everyone has their individual buying power. That's just the way that it works on a prop floor. So it is firm's money. You know, to the extent that we have personal accounts, we don't buy and sell in those accounts while we're trading live on the show. That's our own decision to make. We just feel like that's a more responsible thing to do. Like we have personal accounts, but we trade firm capital here at Day Trade the World.
Yep. It's you just Google prop trading. That's it. I mean, you'll have a couple answers there, hopefully. But that's what we're doing here, and we want to thank again everybody for joining us every single day. Because without everybody, this show doesn't happen. So thank you so much, and we do it for you guys. So thanks for all the feedback and anything you want to say. You know, it's been pretty positive. So thank you again for all of that. All right, Disney. Right now, I'm bidding 05s. We are trying to take $1 clean on this. Obviously, $1 clean would mean we'd have to break this level that's come in right now. You know what? Break yourself, fool. Let's cancel that 84.05 right now. Let's see if it does go to the downside. We are short at 84.94, as you could see. Let's just see if it does take that out. I'm hoping that's a yes on that front, but right now we still need to have a move to the downside. Let's just see if it does take it. Like I said, I say yes, it does. You know, we're making some moves down. I'll bunch out of this in 4 minutes, right? I mean, if the market doesn't give it to us, then we'll wait. But I am thinking that there is going to be a flush. I'm going to put something at 83. I'm going to use a gateway that I can get filled on. 83.90. Let's put that bid. So let's see if it just flushes through 83 here in the last couple seconds. Sorry, through 84. Gives me that 83, and we'll work on that. So right now, Disney getting a little excited because we still have our AMC on too, actually. It's just such a small piece. Back down to 85, we'll punch out of this. But really my focus here is on Disney and hopefully a move back down here in the market to give it to us. But with only 4 minutes left, man, great show. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Join us back tomorrow at 8:30.
Yeah, I just covered lift. It can't break 10.15 here. Look at what happened since the imbalances. Since about 3:30, exactly 3:30, when I was getting these last outs, it's been barcoding all the way to the side. So I'm just out of this one. I don't think I'll put anything new on there. And look, it's all about finding these trade ideas, finding what's moving, making sure that you have a plan of action, and then jumping into them. If it stops moving, you don't have to trade it. On the imbalances, pretty much everything paired off. Intel stayed a decent sell. Tesla, by the way, 350 to buy. So I know everything's headed to the downside. That ended up being a heck of a lot better of an out than I really thought. It continues to trade higher, but a buy and balance and up 3%. I think a couple of people have asked about this. It is the last day for tax loss selling. coming into tomorrow, the way the market's found a bit of a bottom here, there's going to be some long setups. Just because there's a setup doesn't mean that it has to work or it has to make money. But for me, I'm going to have some long setups tomorrow. I know we've been leaning mostly to the short side the last couple of days, but I see a few things that are at bottoms I want to play off of. I talked about SoFi at 423. If I even get it, lift at 10. We'll see if we can get that one going into tomorrow as well. There's a few levels out there that are going to be worthwhile to trade off of. You want to identify them and make sure you're ready to trade come 9:30 when we have tomorrow's open. Could see, well, you're going to see fireworks, but you might finally see them to the upside.
Yeah, so I know we always want to think about Free Fall Friday. I know it's only Wednesday today.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be one problem for Free Fall Friday. It's not here yet. I don't know. Let's see. I really want to see what Apple does. I think Apple's going to be the key to a lot of this market. We only have 2 minutes left. I guess my Disney. I'll have to get it out a little bit lower. So let's see if this will flush right at the end. We'll see if we can get it out at 84.10. Right, we're at 84.11 actually. Let's see if we get that flush. That will be, oops, there it is right there. That is the low of the day, right? 84.07, so a little bit down here in the last 2 minutes. Maybe we do get that fill and we'll take 80 cents on this one. But no, you can't, people asking, you can't, Day Trade the World is not a public company. So,
what are they asking?
No, people are just saying, can we invest? And you know, we don't trade. That's not how it works. Like Neil can be short a name, I could be long a name. It's not, the money doesn't get pooled or anything like that, right? This is a prop firm, so I think if you just Google that, you'll figure out exactly what we're doing, and we're trading each our own separate accounts. So
yeah,
like
every trader is an individual.
Right, if Neil makes $100 and I lose $100 today, he gets paid, I don't. That's how it works. It doesn't have anything to do with like balancing off against each other or anything like that. Okay.
All good questions, that's fine.
Yeah, no, they're great. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that. But now we only have a minute left. I am just going to, I mean, I don't need to punch out of AMC, but we'll sit here on the bid. Hopefully it does fill us here. There is some size at that. We'll wait for 84s. If this 85 breaks, we'll punch out and just get out of that one for, again, a 14-cent win. But AMC really didn't do too much today at all. I wish it had, but we had the short at $4, so it's a nice little downside move for sure for that name. Here we go, man. Last minute of play in this period, and it doesn't look like we'll get that Disney fill, so I think we'll just, maybe. Yes, sir, there it is, man. We'll go a nice little trade there as Disney, for some reason, just went to the downside right there, as I was just like, I'm not going to get the fill, but there it is right there, finishing the day off with that big trade there for DIS. Cancel everything now, as there it is, we're canceled absolutely everything.
I want to see this vertical leap right now.
It is Pradley.
Don't lower the bell. Show off that vertical.
Prad on the bell.
Prad's been hitting the gym, man. He's got hops. I want to see them.
All right. Yeah, Luka Doncic. We were talking about that earlier because he had a 60-20-10 game, the first in NBA.
It was nonsense. There's Trader Pratt in 3, 2, and 1. Hold on a second. No.
What was that picture?
Go back to the picture for a second. I'm assuming that's like a pina colada.
No, just coconut water.
Is it just coconut?
Coconut water.
Coconut water is the greatest thing in the world, but you can have the pina colada in the coconut. That's the other way to drink it. I love coconut water. But there's Pradley. I know you're showing him on vacation, but one of the things we were talking about is
in India there.
Yeah, but one of the things we were talking about is like, that dedication of having a routine. I know he's been hitting the gym recently. That's what it's about. Whether it's in trading or whether it's in life, get yourself a solid routine there to be sure, and you can't go wrong. I don't think we ended up in the green territory there, Sharif, but let us know how the overall market did do. It wasn't that bad.
We certainly did not, Neil. The S&P down 1.25%. Likewise with the NASDAQ, the Dow outperforming as usual, down only a percentage point. Toronto wasn't spared, 1.1% to the downside. Crude also taking on the chin again with some negative headlines coming in, 1.1% to the downside. Bitcoin, Ethereum, both down. The only positive North American market, guys, Brazil. And that's December 28th, 2022. How did everybody trade today? I think the guys showed you some awesome trades.
Yeah, the market's still red. We'll see what happens in tomorrow going into the end of the year. There's always going to be liquidity. Well, there's always going to be volatility. Even though volume goes down, what I'm trying to get at, the volatility hasn't really gone anywhere. Like we were talking about the put call spread being at all-time highs. Like that's going to mean we're going to get some great movement in the next couple of days. I'm adding Nike to my list to watch tomorrow. That 114 in Nike. Spicy meatball if it can't hold that.
Yeah, we know. He knows Brazil is in South America, but No, he mentioned the only market green in North America was Brazil, but that's okay. It was only green name on that board.
Make up for that.
That
defeat.
Yeah,
in
that's
air quotes.
That's a faux pas on my part. Obviously, I know Brazil
No,
and South America. The Americas, guys.
The Americas,
Man City
good one.
playing right now. They're behind my Arsenal. City winning right now 1-0 against Leeds. I got to monitor that closely when we're done here, guys.
All right, cool. How come your Apple numbers aren't matching actual stock price? I have no idea. I mean, watch it go back there.
ticker?
You might be on a delayed print. We have live trading quotes here every single day. So, all right, thanks, Sharif. Good job today, obviously, as per usual. Sharif has a couple more days. I'm now off, so I'm going to say Happy New Year to everybody.
What?
This is my last day for the week.
You're only taking Friday off. Today's Wednesday, man.
I'm taking tomorrow off.
Oh, you're off tomorrow as
Yeah,
well.
man.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't-
man.
I didn't realize that.
Arun is back in the building.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so the ATM is closed, but it'll be back open hopefully on Tuesday when I'm back here now. Arun's going to get some good trades for you. Neil's going to be here. Sharif's going to be here as well. So Happy New Year to everybody. Have a good one. I want to say a big shout out to Fahad as well. I think you're off Friday, right? Yeah, so he's off Friday. We'll have a few more people in.
Anyway, you can be here Friday.
Just you, I guess.
I ain't going anywhere.
Brendan's here next week as well. And yeah, we'll work on getting this cough all fixed. But for Sharif, Prad, Luca, Fahad, Liz, who I'm missing? Well, I was going to do you last.
right
Neil,
here. Neil.
myself, everybody, the traders behind us as well. Thank you so much for joining us one more time. And we'll see everybody tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.
Happy hump day.